Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm your host, James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just another week and day in the life of being real and, trying to avoid all suckers at all costs. Especially.
Have you been listening to T.I. this week? What is going on?
No T.I., man. I haven't even. I've tried to not think about T.I. ever since his Atlanta is Wakanda speech. I was thoroughly I wouldn't say disgusted by Mr. Tip. I would say just I feel like, all right, if I would have been standing there, he would have looked at me as he said that, I would have put my face in my hands.
Yeah, I would have too, because I think that's exactly what I did when I saw the video. I was just like, Tip, you know better than this. I know what you're trying to do. It's not going to work at all. We finna clown the shit out of you. Whatever. But yeah, speaking of Bankhead, did you see the video of it being on Smash out there on Saturday night, Friday night?
I did.
What are they doing?
I think they was out there just living a life. They say no masks and social distancing. It is for who? Not us apparently. Or them. I was look, I thought at first when I saw the video, I was like, okay, maybe they're protesting, I don't know. Then I saw a second video, I was like, no, they just trying to bring back Freaknik. They're not protesting nothing that I see right now. I see people doing donuts in the middle of the street. I was like, look, man, I hope nothing bad happens, but just knowing the numbers game and what's going on right now, somebody's going to end up in a bad way from their little, kickback or whatever the hell they was doing out there. But I hope for the best. Yeah. I've been playing this MLB The Show 20 this past week.
That's right. You've been playing baseball video games.
Pretty far. Can't lie. I already got called up to the to AAA. I lit AA on fire. So just trying. I got drafted by the Marlins. So we'll have to give my first 6 seasons to them until it's time to get paid and then lay it down like Albert Pujols.
No, that's not fair. Albert Pujols got his big contract when he was 32 or something.
Do you know he's still in the league?
Yeah,
I think he's at the end of the deal. So it
was a 10-year contract. This is the end of it right now. 2012 was the first year that contract.
Something like that. So I played a game with the Angels, right? because I wanted to, use Mike Trout, and I totally forget Albert Pujols is still there, right? And he's like a first baseman. His speed is like a 0, and then he's like a 72 overall. So like he's almost as washed up right now as Willie Mays was.
What, the Mets Willie Mays? Oh, yes. Man. Well, it's not as bad because like Pujols is still like DHing / being a first baseman. Like Willie Mays is still out here center field looking lost in color. Like that's the saddest shit ever. Like, yeah, who's the coldest dude of all time in black and white? Willie Mays. Who's the sorriest dude you ever seen and felt sad for in color? Willie Mays.
Yeah, I opened a pack with the Willie Mays in it, the washed up Willie Mays.
Oh,
so
man.
I died laughing. I had to put him on in my lineup for the laughs. So.
Yeah, man. Like, I guess it's an inside thing between me and Rich. Like, the all-time most washed up, like, great athlete in our minds is like Willie Mays stumbling around the outfield for the Mets. That's the go-to. I forgot where that came from, but like you see the video of him just like, dude, you had the basket catch. What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
But on to more depressing things besides, the aging of Willie Mays.
Look, Undertaker was headed that way, but it looks like he may have laid it down. But
Undertaker wasn't as good as wrestling as Willie Mays was baseball, though. So I won't even go there, but sure.
Very true.
Yeah, so speaking of more depressing things, I guess it's part 2 of our COVID coverage in WWE. Yeah, so more or less, COVID tests came back, and lots of old people came back COVID positive. Ranging from Mike Carano. Is it Mike or Matt? Mike Carano, right?
Mark Carano.
That's right. It starts with him. Mark Carano to Jamie Noble, and most notably so far is Renee Young. Yeah, I mean, and there
were heavy rumors that Vince had it.
Well, it's just easy speculation. Like you have Mark Carano and you have Jamie Noble with it. Who's always in Gorilla? Those two. So you just imagine like, okay, Triple H probably has definitely come into contact with someone with COVID. So has Vince. So has the Road Dogg. So has Sean. So has everybody else back there. P.S. Hayes. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. The amount of drugs that he's done.
Look, if someone was going to kill Michael Hayes, it would have already done it. So I don't think he really worried.
Look, yeah, my great, how do I say this? My great uncle. No, yeah, my great uncle actually passed from COVID. I found out just yesterday. So like, it's for real, it's serious. So, but I mean, he lived a hell of a life. He lived to be 80. So, but still, it's just like this stuff will prey among the vulnerable, and it will still even get your ass even if you are of good health. But there are reports of people that have came forward but can't really mention anything because WWE is really not into people releasing their results if they are positive to anyone but their family or the people they live with. But their reports are there are over 10, even as high as 24 people have it right now. In relation to this batch of testing, there have been talks of them moving to test every single time now, which is good, which is something they should have been doing all the time. But the past is the past. We can talk about the past, but here we are now. They are now doing the bare minimum for the fucking staff now, which is good, or better, not good. And we are now at a point to where they had delayed last week's taping. There are reports that Wednesday taping, they're going to do night 1 and 2 of Great American Bash / cut off, or basically more or less, I don't even know if you want to call it Great American Bash or just basically like steal market share from AEW.
Yeah. Reverse Fyter Fest.
Yeah, pretty much. So they're, the opposite of Fyter Fest. So nights 1 and 2 will be taped on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday will be SmackDown and Raw for 2 weeks. So yeah, man, it's just this crazy stuff that we're now here and they're now doing right after like it took such a mighty embarrassment to get to this point. What are your thoughts on this now that they're now doing, you know, close to the right thing?
It's a step in the right direction, but that still doesn't erase 3 months of them participating in what can be qualified as like the worst promotional tactic of the year, sending your wrestlers and refusing to flat out test them all, you know, the whole time, like, and doing bullshit temperature checks the whole time and not making it not even trying to attempt to have a safe environment. Like what they did was install plexiglass and like click a damn thing at people's foreheads and ask them if they felt okay. Like, these people were shamed into doing this. These people were forced into doing this. And as much as they fought to become an essential business, right? The people that actually make the show, they couldn't give a fuck about, which is sickening. It's disgusting. I hope whoever gets the COVID from that situation, they can sue. Like, I feel like there's got to be a lawsuit somewhere. But it's just like, I don't understand how you are a $1 billion company and then you do this. Like where's the attention? Where's the media coverage? Where's the, like, you know, it's almost like, you know, the only people that are, you know, talking about it is shows like ours and, you know, the wrestling media, and then it doesn't go any further than that. It's like, if someone told John Oliver about this, he would have like blown this shit to smithereens, and like this would have been solved a lot faster. But it's just like, then you get in top of the mask thing last week, and them letting in the fans. Like, it was like, what alternate reality are they fucking living in?
Well, you know what alternate reality they live in? It's the same one that has, you know, white people losing their minds, complaining that they can't go into grocery stores and shop amongst other people without masks on right now. That you see like every 2 hours or so a new video of it on you know, Twitter. It is just rife with like arrogance and privilege. And just flat out like bizarre role type shit, like the politicization. It's not the word. It's not a word.
Yep.
Politicizing of mask. It's just this thing about looking weak or all this other nonsense. That you see the stupid meme where someone says a mask now, and then it shows more and more in over time. And by the year 2050 or 2025, all of a sudden everybody's dressed in hijabs. It's like, y'all are.
Like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all are racist. Y'all are dumb, racist, flat out. Like,
I don't even know about. I think we let a lot of people off by talking about how racism is dumb or whatever else. Like, no. A lot of these people are not dumb. They're just racist. Full stop. This is a play on this, right? Now, but to get back to WWE, the word is that they are now allowing people to wear masks. They're not mandatory, but some people are wearing masks, which then begs the point of like, if some people can wear masks, why don't you make everybody wear masks? Like, just get more fucking microphones and put them closer to the people if you're worried about noise being muffled or whatnot. That's the reason why the plexiglass up and everything else. Like, we're at a point now to be in Florida where the country, it's almost like a country to itself. The state that we're in had 9,000 new COVID tests. Was it yesterday? Like, or was that 2 days ago?
I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, we're at a point now to where not wearing a mask for this stuff is just like unacceptable for it to make it on TV. It almost needs to be a mandate from whatever network is broadcasting these shows. I don't give a fuck about you know, Hikaru Shida or MJF or either librarian being there on the sidelines. Put a mask on or don't put them on the show. That needs to be the mandate for people. Like, to have, same thing when it goes for WWE as well. It was like, to have all of these trainees and people to be 6 feet away from each other in an air-conditioned, closed-off room for hours upon hours for these tapings. You're basically putting people in a petri dish for hours on hours with nothing to protect them. Breathing on each other.
Look, and they weren't even doing tests, so
right.
Like it's just 1,000 times worse when it comes to them. Like, there was an anonymous email that got leaked to Wrestling Inc. Where someone was discussing the conditions on the condition of anonymity and
substandard working conditions.
Yes, that T.I. once talked about. Yes. Always comes back to him.
Seemingly, yes.
So like they talked about like WWE's going to take care of all medical treatment should they need them, but in the same breath, like, it was clear the company would also handle the PR, and only that needed to know about the condition would know, and that would prevent them from making the names public. But at the same time, WWE is the reason that these people would have ended up sick anyway. Like, they got asked to invite friends and family and fans that they've befriended to attend shows at the PC, which are some of the people we saw before. They talked about the Kevin Dunn, fans not allowed to wear masks, and made a scene over the PA.
Yeah, I saw somebody contested that.
Yeah, it was Simone Johnson.
That's right.
That. She was fully, she was calling out snitches. So the mindset is already there.
Did she say dry snitching or just snitching?
No, snitching.
Oh, well, it happened then.
Yeah. So it's on Wrestling Inc. if you guys want to look at it, but it's just this long thing I saw, and I'm like, wow. They've kicked in the door on how they've been treated, the lack of protocol. They confirmed the no mask stance. WWE actually forbid them to talk about it and said they'd take care of them, but WWE put them in the first place. This train is off the track. So, like, that was like my initial, like Cliff Notes version of it.
Right.
But it's just like, how do you like look these people in the face? It is like your money is not that good. Like, to not, protect these people like this. And you're a $1 billion company. How easy is it for you to test somebody? It's like it's so dumb. Like, why wouldn't you test people? Yeah. Like, if you can.
This is beyond corporate greed. Like, corporate greed is just running the shows. And like a lot of us in the community that cover this stuff and talk about it and think about it have basically, like, after these past 3 months, have gotten numb and is normalized that these people are out here being essential workers for some non-essential ass fake fighting, right? But it's a whole other type of thing to say that, like, oh yeah, are there safeguards in place? Oh, these safeguards are like, basically, instead of putting on a seatbelt when you go to drive, is like you're putting a napkin over your chest. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this will not stop you from cracking your head and going through the fucking windshield. It won't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're at a point now where there actually is a seatbelt, so good for you. It took you 3 months to get a seatbelt. $1 billion company. Thank you.
It's like the bottom just keeps falling out when you just think how terrible this company can be. Like, we're not even talking about, like, the bad booking at times.
Yeah, no, we're talking about
just flat out a disgusting enterprise, a disgusting corporation that is like run by a psycho.
We are talking about such short-sightedness that this can affect the bottom line through bad publicity, through lack of morale throughout the company, through flat out, loss of assets if people fucking die or lose their lung capacity from this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like,
what happens when somebody catches the shit and comes back, but like their breathing is off or whatever, and then
they're done.
They're in the middle of a match and they don't realize that shit until then. Then somebody dies in the ring or some shit.
Or just enough people just are done because they don't have the wind to do this anymore.
Right.
So my thing is like, you can't even say this is greedy, because even if you were
like, if you were greedy, you would test everybody,
right?
And
because
then
you want to protect your assets. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm getting at. Thanks, Rich. I don't mean that sarcastically. Seriously. I was about to go on some rant for like 5 minutes. So, so yeah, like that's where we are now, and like it took this moment to get. It took almost anywhere from 10 to 2 dozen COVID tests.
I know Roman Reigns is happy right now. I know Sami Zayn is happy. Like, I took my ass home. Fuck this.
Yep, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Another person that always wins, though, when I was thinking about this, when all the people that aren't around, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Brock, yeah. Oh, Brock like double won, so he dropped the title, like, so he doesn't have to have any responsibility during this ratings free fall.
Yep.
Or whatever. It's just like, this man is like Hogan times 2, like, and he'll come back and clean the shit up whenever fans are back. Vince will be like, oh, we gotta go back to Brock.
Another person that won, Becky Lynch. I'm out of here. Becky Lynch, I feel, look, what was it, 2K20 there? It was the last edition of 2K?
Yeah.
Roman and Becky were both on the cover, right?
Yep.
Both of them are out of Dodge. Y'all can handle this. Y'all go out there. Asuka, you are amazing. You are one of the best promos of the year, even though you don't speak even half a lick of English half the time. You've been great. Charlotte, you've resurrected your career inside the ring. Thank you. You're doing great. Relatively speaking, you're overpushed, but whatever. You're doing well when you get your big matches. Drew McIntyre, you haven't lost a match since like November. You doing pretty well. No one's clamoring for him, saying he's overpushed or none of that shit, right? As a top guy, which, everyone says so impossible, even though Becky was just doing it, right? Everybody's doing well, but the shit's tanking, and whenever all of this shit goes away, if Roman or Becky will ever want to come back, they will be on their hands and knees begging for them and kissing their ass to come back. Bravo! They've won. They've won.
Does this qualify as elite level working that I like to talk about?
No, I don't think like Becky was specifically getting like looking at hot spots in China and Japan and was like, this might be about the time for you to go ahead and put it in there, Seth. I don't think so. Like,
because I remember when Becky, when she came out and made the announcement, I was like, oh yes. This is truly that elite level working. Like,
but Rich, that's only because you're just like terribly cynical because of American professional wrestling being just overran by shitheads and terrible people for 100 years. That's the reason why you believe that.
Yeah, man. I can't wait till Jeff Jarrett elite level works his way into running the company.
Oh my god! All right, so in your mind, that's too morbid. That's too morbid. I'm not even gonna do it. I was not even gonna do it. Not even gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Let's just move on. Some more WWE and slime balls. Apparently, they have fillers out for recently terminated Tessa Blanchard, former Impact World Heavyweight Champion, one of the better women in professional wrestling. They've been playing this dance with each other for at least since 2017, right?
Yeah, a lot of it's going through Meltzer. It seems like.
Yeah, so might bring her in. It's gonna be quite interesting that they bring her in when it's like Randy Orton was just trying to cleanse himself from and get himself into good graces this whole last month or so, right? And then you want to bring Tessa in. Well, is Randy Orton and Tessa the good versus the evil of both of them? Who's going to overcome? Is Randy going to go back to the dark side, or you think is going to bring Tessa closer and convert?
Well, I don't know, man. It is funny because with Tessa, like, I would say the fans that I see on Twitter, a lot of them are clamoring for her to go to AEW. I am not. The people, some people I've had conversations with that are heavy like WWE fans, they seem to think it's a done deal. She's going to AEW, so it's almost like nobody wants her. It's like go to WWE. Like I don't need. And then you think about what Tony Khan just did, like with banning Hogan and Linda McMahon and shit like that.
How about this? The one that I didn't even think about that. You're right. The one I thought about was when he got into it with Orton and then shouted him down for saying like, you were just on Twitch saying the word nigger.
Yes.
I'm not like, don't come to me about controversy, whatever else. It's like, okay, so now after you just said you were anti, nigga, now you're gonna bring in Tessa after she literally niggered La Rosa Negra and spat on her face, which is worse than what Randy did.
Yes.
Like
that's why I don't think. That's why I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, and
I think for the sake of me not wanting to hear FDSers doing
they're gonna they would be having a field day.
I'm saying just for the sake of them doing which is funny because like that really mimics like the Republican Party whenever like a Democrat gets caught up in something that like they get caught up in like the shit that like Republicans
it is the big
constantly
Trump fundraiser.
Well, hold on, let me finish. Like there's so much politically about like Democrats are holier than thou, even though look at their history. And then you see the Republican Party that they just like they're just a pig in shit. And then like once a Democrat any Democrat like falls close to the pin, they're just like, all of y'all are dirty motherfuckers. They're just like,
it's like that Leonardo DiCaprio pointing picture.
Right. So like if Tessa going to AEW will be exactly that. It's like, yeah, we don't scream for COVID, but look, you hired that motherfucker that says nigga. Like, that's exactly what happened. It's like, look, dude,
bro,
she's a talent. I would like to. I'm pretty good with AEW being relatively like guilt-free, a guilt-free watch. Like, I don't really feel like having to deal with that there, and also more importantly, having to deal with motherfuckers that are like treating the pro wrestling like it's a sports team. So like, I just kind of don't.
Yeah, it's if she signs with WWE, like you will not hear half the noise that you would.
People
like,
be
no
like,
one will
"Oh,
care.
we expected that." Whatever,
right?
And shrug.
Right. I'm like, if you don't think that they're going to try to feed her to the Charlotte wood chipper, you have another thing coming.
The Charlotte wood chipper. Like, I haven't watched any of Tessa's like promo work or whatever else, so I don't know if she's improved in that facet, but like if she has, like, she has the look and the in-ring stuff to make it work in WWE. It's just like, obviously you got to worry about her not pissing off the wrong people at the wrong time, and then like whatever, luckily avoiding whatever agenda is happening at the time that leads to dumb D pushes or whatever else that happens in WWE. But like, if she keeps her head on straight, keeps her head down, and works hard, she's somebody that can just become a top of the card person there, like over time.
I think her name is Mud right now. I think she should like
in WWE,
like just like among like fans right now. Like, luckily no fans are going to be at the shows. But if I was like her, I would like be trying to publicly rehab. I wouldn't come back to wrestling until 2021. Enjoy your life or whatever.
Serious question though, right? Aside from black wrestling fans. And,
no one will care.
Yeah, aside from black wrestling fans and basically like WWE women stan Twitter, also like Diva stan Twitter as well. Like just put it all together in one big batch. Like who really care if Tessa signed? Like those would be the two biggest like quote unquote subgroups that would care that much, right? But like the average Joe Blow, they probably like, oh, I didn't even know that Tully even had a daughter.
That and also like you're
like, wait, Maggie TA's her step? What? That would also happen too.
Yeah, like, and then your more hardcore fans will be like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome," like that want to see her either in AEW or WWE. But yeah, I would probably like consider WWE probably the place she'll end up, just because nothing make them look worse than they already are.
Yeah.
So. It's a little bit like bringing Hulk Hogan back on the Jamal Khashoggi show. It's like, you can just slide this in the back door, but we already paying attention to
Right.
how bad it is. Hell,
Right.
they might want to just go ahead and just scoop her up this week and throw a number at her and make her say no.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of other things. I mean, at this point, I guess we got to move on to Marty and Sammy, right? Guevara.
Good God.
Marty first, because Marty's far more dangerous and serious. Marty was someone that was named in Speaking Out movement stuff on Twitter, the hashtag last weekend. I don't even know the word, but the person came out and said that Marty more or less got her drunk and had sex with her, and she was 16 at the time. And you go back and look at the dates on it, like Marty's like 26, which is like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Marty? And Marty came out and said that like it was legal, but that's almost not the point, which is like, take away the almost. It's not the point, motherfucker. That's why everyone's mad at you. You lost your goddamn mind. And he said that he had consensual sex with this 16-year-old as a 26-year-old grown-ass man.
Yikes.
Ring of Honor is looking into it. We'll see when they come
anything.
up. Yeah. Because
Ring of Honor is still looking into, Taylor Hendricks with Jay Lethal, as far as I'm aware of.
How long ago was that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Are they still looking? Are they still looking into the fan thing with Bubba Ray?
No idea. I was blocked by Bully Ray and removed from his life.
Okay. So anyway,
after serving him an ether pill.
Yeah. So Marty came out and said that, and he said it, and like so many people were furious, rightfully so, because what he said was just like, you were better off not telling us anything than telling us that. And then he went in again and apologized again, and like the apology wasn't no better, so it's more digging up a hole. And I don't know what to do with him. Like, as far as me, like I always liked Marty. I didn't love him. I liked Marty, but like at this point, there's nothing to root for there. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Like that's a dub. Villain is a real shoot. Yeah, like this is a dub for him as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm gonna put him in that same box with Cornette.
Yeah, like it took me a little longer to even like come around on liking him as a wrestler in the first place. I just thought he was I saw a lot of the shtick and all that. I'm like, oh, what's the big deal? But
I think the thing for me was the first time I saw him was WrestleMania weekend in Orlando against Ricochet. At that, was it a Rev Pro show or was it some other show? I can't remember. It was in the same place. Yeah. So from there, I think the thing that got me was like, I have a genuine love for like people technical wrestlers like Daniel Bryan's and Kurt Angle's and Benoit's or whatever else. All the luchadors, cruiserweight era, best Super Junior types. And then like Marty Marty had those matches with Ospreay from 2018, which is another story in Ospreay. But like that 2018 match where Ospreay fucked up his neck and back of his head on the edge of the apron, was like that was one of the best matches of that year. So like ever since then, I've always like kept an eye on Marty because like that dude's super talented. I thought he should have won the Ring of Honor title in 2018.
Oh my God, is Ring of Honor vindicated?
I mean, are they? They made him the fucking booker. That's more important.
No, yeah, I was going to get to that.
Yeah, like that's more important than even being the champion. So, there are, it's just so sad, and like that dude.
Like he was just.
I don't want nothing to do with the dude.
He was just on Being the Elite like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, like he did like a guest spot, like kind of at the end. It looked like it was like foreshadowing him like either being more involved or something. Was he still doing like NWA stuff too? Because remember, like after he had signed his new deal or whatever recently, last few months, he was doing like all these things to trying to like reach out to try to get himself in Ring of Honor, like in all these type of like situations where they do stuff and collaborate. So it's like.
he was the face of that, and a lot of people gave Ring of Honor the chance after they fucked off after Madison Square Garden and fucked up after Best in the World 2019, and like Ring of Honor got a little bit of a new life, and then like the pandemic came, and now we're here, and it's like like it's with Lagana out of NWA, like. Is NWA possibly gone with no Marty? Is, Ring of Honor, like, what the fuck are they going to do? Like, I mean, it's almost unimaginable that he can stay on as a booker.
Yeah, he would have to, like, step down. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, like, it's one of those where it's like, you're resigning. Well, I don't want to resign. You're resigning, Marty.
So they, I believe, like the Elite started deleting different like videos that both Marty Scurll and Joey Ryan were like heavily focused on.
Oh Jesus Christ, Marty Scurll! All right, Joey Ryan, that's another one. We got to talk about him too.
Yeah, Joey Ryan, a serial rapist, and it was like a lot of them. I've seen a lot of stuff like, what did such and such know about this? Like either Candice LeRae or the Elite or anyone like that. I'm like, well, I don't know if Joey Ryan was trying to fuck any of them, so I don't, know. But I mean, they were scrubbing them. They were scrubbing basically those guys off of being the Elite.
Yeah, which makes sense. As far as the whole thing about somebody has to know, be given that they're friends, is like, I don't know if y'all know how much like sexual assault happens in the world. Like your best fucking friend, there's a very good statistical chance that your very first friend is some type of sexual abuser, or has been in the past. Like there's like, you look at some of the rape statistics and it's just like mind boggling. Like 1 in 3 women in their lifetime will be sexually assaulted. Like look at those sheer numbers.
Right.
Like so you look at that as like, I remember reading, I forgot where it was, but like the title of it was like, I've been raped by nicer men than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all that stuff about how could this person not have known? It's like people cover this stuff up and and people think so little and give such a lack of a damn for women that like stuff like this happens. They don't bat an eye. People don't believe women left and right. This is the reason why this all popped off. So people are so scared to come out and, defend what happened, or not defend, but tell people what happened to them and tell their stories, because people don't believe women off GP. That's where we are now. So, luckily, not luckily, Jesus Christ, what's her word, but like, there were enough people that have so many different stories in Joey Ryan. It's like, this is something that people aren't just making up. They're not going to be, 18 people or whatever else the number was, half a damn Royal Rumble of people lying on him like this. So, yeah, like, it is one of those situations where people have talked about when problematic people come around talking about, I can separate their art from their work. Well, in the case of Joey Ryan, much like R. Kelly, can't happen, bro.
Yeah, the
dick flip
was there were stories that he was booking himself with women on the day they turned 18 to try to get them to do the dick flip, to touch his dick. Fucked. Like, nigga, like this is like premeditated. Like, yikes. Like, and then like all the stuff that you hear from him, like he was like they were like, this is like some Harvey Weinstein shit, like Bill Cosby level. Like this is like,
well, with 18, I mean, that's I think at one point Bill Cosby got up to 36 to 40. So
okay, so he's half a Cosby then,
kind of. Yeah,
gotcha. But yeah, that was really, really, really bad. Quite frankly, like it makes those all those stories of him, quote unquote, turning down WWE and AEW contracts like just hilarious, because like neither of them wanted you. Like, I
don't know. Like, I believe that there was interest from both of them. AEW because that's their friend, and I believe in who knew what, and then also there's a part where it's like WWE is trying to sign anybody that AEW could possibly have wanted. So just because AEW may have had some interest, that's the reason why we're talking about Tessa, right? We think AEW might have some interest, so that's why they're going to sign her. So same thing will apply to Joey Ryan. Like, maybe they knew some stuff that obviously, quite frankly, we didn't know, and maybe there were some stories that were from people that were already in WWE that had interactions with Joey at the time. But it's like,
I think it was strictly off a dick flip. Well, like, you can't do it. We're not doing that. Like, Tony's like, we're not fucking doing that. Like, and like, maybe, I don't blame him.
Maybe because like, I don't blame him. I don't look. What? I mean, we all pulled up our various receipts over the years about saying like we do not rock with this Joey Ryan dick flip shit. Like
it was funny the first time you saw it, right? And then like even then it was like nah, like the penis druid angle.
The lollipop thing
is disgusting.
It's just disgusting as fuck. Like, I don't care if it's some too tight situation. Like, this, just the whole imagery of it is gross. Like, I don't care for the magic trick. No, thank you.
This man was out here talking about he living a rock and roll lifestyle. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Nigga, you do not play no instrument. Stop.
Yeah, and then like you were talking about the penis druid a second ago.
Yeah, the penis druid. So like, that was funny in the context with like Hangman and all that, but like I said, it's never making it to like the show. That
was like the only thing I did not like on not Fighter Fist, but all in was like, it's like, that shit's not for me. Whoever liked it, glad you liked it, but like, if I ever watch the show back again, and whenever I go back and watch it, I'm just fast forward through that shit immediately. The Undertaker of dicks, just ridiculous.
So, like, speaking of dicks and balls and all that, you know what time it is?
Hold on. We got to talk about Sammy Guevara first.
See, I almost had a smooth transition, but I guess I'll come up with another one.
We got to talk about it.
Literally, a smooth transition.
Oh, man. Okay, so Sammy was on some podcast or radio show or whatever else, 2016, and said in a joking way, which is like, still, you fucking idiot, what is wrong with you? He said that Sasha Banks, something equates to Sasha Banks is so hot that I would rape that woman, which is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't care if you were 22. Like, we just went through, I don't know how long, probably a half hour of talking about all of this shit that women have to put up with in this world. To hear someone make a joke about raping somebody is like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, I find it unacceptable that he said this shit in 2016. I don't care that he is getting punished by, or whatever, suspended by the company he works for now. In a real world situation, people get fired and taken off their job for far less than this. He knows better than to joke about this. Like, rape jokes are very, 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 very uncool, and there's a very like a razor hair thin line of people to balance on, and only like the best of the best comedians can have the type of dexterity to handle that sort of thing, and most comedians aren't good at it at all and end up getting themselves into trouble. So why would Sammy Guevara think that he could pull such a thing off, especially when he said it in such a crude, clever way? Like, it was just disgusting. Look, go do your sensitivity training or whatever it is, whatever else, and hope that he comes back. And, you know, he's already apologized to Sasha, and I'm glad Sasha was willing to listen him out, because that means she's a far better person than I am. And, like, I already knew that, but, like, it's just more of a ring of endorsement of Sasha to be that forgiving, because if I were a woman and that person said that kind of joke, I'm like, okay. Or I wouldn't return none of their calls or texts or reaches out, none of that shit. But, like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, so what's so funny? What's so funny about this joke? Deconstruct the joke for me. Tell me why the joke's so funny. Tell me what's the punchline of this joke. You think you deem me so attractive in all of this, in this world, in this society, that, like, people would put danger and violence upon my body. Thanks, I appreciate you pointing that out, you asshole. So, I don't know. You can take it, Rich. I just, like, I've been mad about this shit since it happened.
Yeah. I've been a young, dumb, stupid person in my youth.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know if I ever said nothing that crazy.
Yeah, you would not. Like you said, I've heard you make diss records on the women and point out that they were drunk driving before. I have never heard you say anything that even close to that, and let alone on a recording that you knew was being recorded.
Correct. So I don't know their whole situation, whether he was a guest on the podcast, whether he was calling into the podcast, because like for years on our show, we take special precaution to make sure we never go over the line with anything, regardless of how like hyped up we get about if there's any type of inappropriate comment that either happens to slip, like we're like quick finger trigger editing anything out. And this goes back years on our show, right?
Yeah. Like I mean, a couple weeks ago, I called Kanye something that I've said to myself, I made an agreement with myself, I will never call another black person on camera or on a recording that I can control. And it slipped out, and I edited it out. People know you can use context clues and knows what I said, but like that's kind of like my weird arbitrary like standard for that or whatever else. Like that wasn't fair to Kanye, even though like Kanye has exhibited a lot of those characteristics that a lot of people have called him a lot worse than what I called him. So like that's kind of where it is on that. And like if you want to say Sammy got carried away in that way, I'm willing to hear you, but I heard no remorse on that recording. He said that shit and thought it was funny.
Thought it was like everybody gets what he means.
Right.
It's like, nah, man. Like, and Sammy's been like a guy that I've championed like on this show, on other shows, and forums, and saying that's like one of my picks or whatever. This was terrible to hear this week. Just like, why would you say this or have said this? And it's just like the company's going ahead and taking his salary and donating it to the Jacksonville women's something or whatever. It's a nice gesture, and it was swift action. That seems like it got demanded, but he's kind of on the low end of the stuff that happened last week. But like that's still another part of it, that this is what perpetuates the other stuff. So
right. Like he felt comfortable enough to think that he can make a rape joke about a woman, which means like clearly if you feel like you can get away with that sort of thing, what do you think people that actually do harm to women think? They think get away with this shit. Statistically, they do over and over and over, and that's why you shouldn't be saying shit like this.
Yeah. So I don't know how long he's going to be gone. It should be like at least a month before he's back. He was in the middle of what seemed to be like a pretty cool kind of storyline going on, but that's off the table now. And he did do some really good apologizing, I'd say, in the tweets. And he also made a video on his channel and demonetized the video. So this clearly wasn't a thing where he was looking to get clicks, because he does have a large YouTube fan base. Mm-hmm. But and he's no longer making vlogs during this time. So it seems like he's taking it serious, which is, what you can ask for in this situation. The Sammy Guevara of 2016, I hear, is not the Sammy Guevara now. Like, there was a lot of stuff that was in his past that he was a very young, dumb, stupid kid that you always kind of hear about, like whispers about. And hopefully there's somebody that's going to wrap their arm around him and be like, hey man, it's not going to fly. Like, right. clean your act up, because you easily could have been gone, right, and back like on the indies.
Right. Like, my thing for him is like, this isn't some type of canceling. Like, I don't have the powers to cancel nobody. Like I just don't. But my thing for me with Sammy is like, Sammy is very talented. I think he has room to grow and has a lot of potential in the future, in the years coming in AEW, if he sticks around. But he's gonna have to do the work to try to get people to like show that he has like, he knows like that shit is not tolerated.
Yeah.
So I hope that he shows us along over the weeks, days, months to come, or whatever else, that like years to come, that like this is something he's not gonna play around with, because this shit ain't for play. People out here getting their lives ruined and fucked with, or shit, I can't even say that. People literally get killed in rapes and stuff. So yeah, so I guess I'm trying to think what else is there to talk about.
Well,
no. That's,
what else we got?
No, we're not transitioning to that from there. We're not, Rich. We're not going to plug Manscaped after that. We have to talking about. No, we can't. Let's do AEW, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. So because we were just talking about AEW. AEW had a match with Guevara versus Matt Hardy. That got swapped out into Matt Hardy versus, who was it?
Santana.
That's right, Santana of Santana and Ortiz. That was the last match on Dynamite this Wednesday. What do you think of the show in general, Rich?
I like the show. Like I thought it was an alright go home show, but it seems like there was a lot of star power missing. Looks like it reflected it in the ratings. And Jon Moxley with Renee Young, I guess we didn't really hit on that too much.
Well, we can touch about it now, yeah.
Jon Moxley was on the show, but he had made it known to Tony Khan, I guess, that he had been in contact with someone who was in contact with someone who was exposed to coronavirus, and people started putting two and two together and started figuring out, oh, it's Renee. And then Renee came out and confirmed it. Apparently WWE is not happy with that. They can kick rocks.
Yeah, fuck them.
They also, in another situation, QT Marshall was exposed to someone not in the wrestling business. That
why do you think they kept saying that? Like, every time I heard about QT, they kept pointing out someone that's not in the business. Like, are we really? I don't really care.
I guess in his everyday life, because I guess they're trying to show that there wasn't a potential outbreak amongst them, but they were like, they're like, for safety, we're going to keep him home, Anna Jay, Alan Angels, and Lee Johnson home this week. So Mox was off the show, so lost that. But I liked the FTR and SCU match a lot. I gave that 4 stars. The Lumberjack match was fucking awesome. I liked a lot of the stuff, like, just looking at it. The Sheeta angle was awesome. She like a fucking killer. Sunday Kiss and Joey Janela showed up. So it was like they were trying some new stuff out, but there was a lot of, like, I hate to say it, a lot of WWE guys just creeping up on this show. And it's just like, well, let's check out these ratings. And Jericho's not in the match. I don't know if those Jericho segments are getting long in the tooth where he does the main event thing and doesn't wrestle. Because they got utterly destroyed head to head.
Yeah, but they got utterly destroyed by, like, Finn Balor versus Gargano versus Keith Lee in a title match.
You got to reevaluate then.
I mean, I don't know if it's a reevaluate as much as, like, what are you gonna? I mean, you're saving all your matches for a 2-night show. What what were they going to be able to put on? I mean, could they put the ladder? Do you think they could have put on the Kaiju Lumberjack match last that fought against that? Because I think they get squashed too in the ratings.
You could have put FTR and SCU and told them, hey, we're going to give y'all 25 instead.
Didn't that do bad? Or not? No, actually, no. That actually is the only thing that actually did good in the ratings. But, like, it still would have got crushed, though, I think. Like, I have a hard time imagining that, like, FTR is going to do a better rating off rip than just, like, before you go into the show. Like, just, you saw the show, it's like, all right, we know what they're going to do in the main event, even though AEW mostly doesn't play this type of game. It's more of an NXT game. But, like, if they were going to try to game the system and they were like, all right, what do we have to do to compete with that? It's like, I imagine they would pick Jericho segment than FDR segment. But maybe I'm just wrong with that. I don't know.
Because I think, like, what we've seen is, like, the wrestling Like wrestling matches, draw.
Yeah.
Any type of non-wrestling stuff is susceptible. Orange
Unless
Cassidy,
it's like Jericho historically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then like you're not looking at any elite members on the show aside from the Bucks doing an angle.
Yeah, like
for 5 seconds. So
and how many times have we talked about this? I've actually mentioned this. Was it 2-3 weeks ago when they had a bad rating? It's like, and you look back at these shows, and any show that doesn't have doesn't have like 2 matches that involve Cody, Jericho, Moxley, and Kenny. If you don't have 2 matches on that show with any of those 4, their rating always underperforms compared to what they normally do. And it's like, learn the lesson, take the hint. I mean, obviously, the Moxley thing was out of control. That hurt them, but shit happens. Like, I don't really think it's a big deal. Like, I'm not a ratings person to begin with.
I think it's their lowest rating ever.
And it's like, it's still funny because like that's still more than twice as much as Caleb thought they were going to do.
like I was thinking, I was like, well, I'm not really worried about this, like, because
I'm not either.
Because it was like we have all those things to point to that weren't on the show. We have this 2-week event starting the next 2 weeks. Also, you're further into the summer, so like there's like weird ratings weeks that happen historically. So I figure they'll bounce back next week.
Oh yeah, they're both shows are gonna. I think both shows combined are going to do like 1.6 combined next week.
Like, I think Fyter Fest is a hell of a card. I was looking at it on paper. I like it more going into it than I like Double or Nothing, because I was like nervous, like with Double or Nothing. So,
I think the build is better, but I think the card just, like, Penelope's first night 1, right? Penelope versus Sheeta.
Yeah,
Penelope Sheeta has no chance of matching Sheeta and Nyla, just no chance. But like, but it was built well, but I just think that the builds have been better. So because it hasn't been like, oh, we're adjusting to people being here, we have to keep adjusting and modulating because of people's dates, whatever else. Now they kind of have, for the most part, most of their roster to be able to do what they want to do, and they built towards this. So this is a lot better in my opinion than like when they got out of Full Gear. When they left out of Full Gear the afternoon of November, I feel like we're in a much better place. I mean, a lot of that has to do with like no Nightmare Collective, but yeah.
So the Lumberjack match was fucking awesome. Big dudes doing these flips, Warlow's doing the head scissor, and Luchasaurus was hitting shooting star presses off the stage.
Scared.
Into the fucking
doing
crowd.
it scared.
Yeah, bro.
That man had to think about it, which is not a good idea. I thought something bad was going to happen when he thought about it. I was like, I don't know, bro.
Bro, this was like so much better than like a Kane versus Big Show match. This was this was like just light years ahead. Like, Wardlow looks like he's gonna be a superstar. Like, he's like if there's a futures draft, right? Like, you want to get Wardlow locked up quick.
How old is Wardlow?
I think he's 31. So you gotta kind of get it rolling. So, he's a big guy, very athletic, great power moveset. He looks dead serious. You believe him. And I imagine, the ladies like the Wardlow. I would imagine. I look, if this was Rich Lattice promotion, I would be marketing the Wardlow to the ladies too.
Yeah, I think when I first saw him, I was like, he looks like a buffer version of was it Tom Hardy from the dude that plays Bane in the Dark Knight Rises. He was in Inception. He was also the main character, or not the main character, but the main male actor in Max. Oh my God, Mad Max Fury Road, opposite of Charlize Theron. Yeah, but anyway, I thought the match really good. I'd probably say this is probably better than the worst Dijak Lee match, but I would say it's better than the worst one. Yeah, so like that's high praise considering like, 5 years ago you see two dudes that look like that and you're like, you ain't expecting. Well, I don't even know about that, but as much as like expecting them to do that sort of stuff, hell no. You're expecting them like to beat the shit out of each other and like be powerhouses, not like be out here, doing flippy dudes as as people like to call them. Yeah. Like when he did the running head scissors, I was like, I didn't know he had that kind of flexibility. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and I remember Wardlow was doing the swanton off the top rope and shit before, like, this man, like, better watch out. Like,
be on top. I think they did a real good job with this match. This was, I don't know who put this match together or who helped or whatever else, but, like, this was clearly, like, very similar to, like, the good Cody matches in AEW and stuff where just, like, we have these pieces of stuff. We just know that like these people can do X amount of things. Let's highlight that. Let's not worry about them trying to chain wrestle. Let's not worry about them trying to sell or whatever else. Let them do their hot shit and let's get out of there and like make them like monsters by having like the monsters doing flip dives and toppling over all these smaller humans. Like, and it worked. So good for them.
So they set up a Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy match against MJF and Wardlow for Fyter Fest.
That's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Is that night 2?
I believe that's night 2. Okay. I think.
Well,
we'll go through it after.
Yeah. Instead of me interrupting you every single 5 seconds.
So they did, the Taz technique with Brian Cage and did the drill claw breakdown. Fucking awesome.
Yes.
Then Tony Schiavone read more notes from Britt Baker. Then Carl Sheeta came out looking focused, serious, as angry as we've ever seen her. She's like staring a hole through Penelope Ford, walks over there and, gets in her face basically. But Penelope took a swing at her and, they, ran it. But Sheeta got in the ring and squashed a jobber named Red Velvet, who we've seen on AEW Dark once before. She hit a high knee and a Falcon Arrow, and that was it. And it was like explosive. And then she immediately ran out the ring and like jumped the barricade and went at it with Penelope Ford. This was a very hot angle, and I think this did a lot for Sheeta.
It did a lot for both of them because like before this happened, it was like, she's gonna beat the shit out of her. She's just gonna beat the shit out of her and move on. This is the tomato can, bum of the week, bum of the month type of title challenger. Like, at least I still don't feel any different. Like, I don't think that Penelope Ford is going to become like the 4th AEW Women's Champion at all. But at least it's like I look forward to seeing like how they're going to handle the match because like now there's it looks like there's some quote unquote on TV heat between them, and that's really the most you need for any match that has any type of build to it is like person X hates person Y and Y also hates X over whatever reason. I don't care, but like let's get to it.
So they cut to a pre-recorded press conference for the TNT Championship match with Cody and Jake Hager. So after 3 weeks, James, Cody has lied to us and he couldn't last like where was the title defense this week, James? Did you see one? I didn't see one.
Nope, and it would have helped the reign if he had a match aside instead of this. It definitely would have.
Yeah. So they set up with the imaginary Pro Wrestling Illustrated reporters that actually don't exist. Like a press conference deal, and this becomes more like Rocky 3 the more like I start thinking about it.
It will never be Rocky 3 until we get Arn. Never mind. Continue.
I bet you if you watch that press conference again, you'll probably find something like, because she was there, he was there.
Well, like the real thing that sets it all off is like when Rocky is in the mansion and he asks for both of them to come. He summons for both of them in his big ass house, and then like Mick and Adrian are both like coming from the same direction, and they're both disheveled and they're just like putting like shit in it. Like Mick is like trying to adjust his belt and tuck his pants in, and then like Adrian I think is probably like doing her hair, fixing her dresses. Like, what were y'all two just doing?
Anyway,
I know we've never really fully done this on on air. But like, I've been talking to you this for over a decade now. At this point, like, you know, I believe this is be a thing. This all happened off panel.
This is like some Stevie Wonder is blind shit. Like, I mean, I feel a lot more confident about Stevie Wonder being blind than Adrian fucking Mick.
Yeah, I guess we gotta go there. Look, man, when Adrian went into a coma in Rocky 2, who was bedside? Who was bedside with her all the time?
Mick.
Rocky 3, next thing you know, they come from the same room, from the same area, the same house, disheveled, trying to, get dressed up in front of Rock. Then, when Mick dies before the first clubber fight, who stays behind? Adrian.
Y'all hear this foolishness. Y'all hear this foolishness.
Let's move on.
But so if y'all start seeing anything between Arn and Brandy, let us know. So but yeah, Cody, Mr. 3 weeks and I'm done, defending the belt every week. Arn Anderson cut a promo on Hager. He said he fired Cody up when he said Hager made a challenge from a safe distance. Hager might have he might be able to be the champion based on credentials, but he doesn't have the heart. Cody answered a question in talking about what the TNT title represents to him. He said it represents hope. He said Ricky Starks came to Dynamite with $3 in his checking account, and him leaving with hope leaving with a job is hope. And I'm like, why you put Ricky Starks on fucking blast like that? Like, like if I'm Ricky Starks got to like attack him again. Be like, hey, who the fuck is you to be revealing? And especially the video package they did about Ricky Starks. Like, nah.
I don't disagree with you. I didn't like that. But like, I just took it as, I get where he's coming from, but there's another side to look at it, and another side is like, you kind of putting Buddy on blast while you're trying to put over this thing. It's like, it was very Cena of him. Cena of him.
Well, the next one we really gonna get to. So Cody said he loves real wrestling, whatever the fuck that is, and not cosplay wrestling or meta wrestling. He loves to taste his own blood, and wrestling has fed him his whole life.
Can we stop there, or do you want to continue until we stop?
Let's stop. Let's pull the car over to the side of the road.
I don't really want to dwell too much on the cosplay wrestling thing, because Cody is clearly cosplaying as his damn daddy like an 8-year-old. But there's also the part where it's like, I don't do the meta wrestling, when it's like, then what do you think it was when you talked about, the road to Double or Nothing last year, when you did the promo, that awesome promo talking about getting rid of the past and talking about like CM Punk's pipe bomb is as significant as anything else as any of the Rock promos, whatever else, and you're going to put your brother out to pasture or whatever else. Like, that was clearly meta. That was clearly talking about, like, y'all need to stop praising the fucking Attitude Era and ruthless aggression and, like, get with the new shit, because we are the future and you can no longer hold on to your past and nostalgia and all the other shit. That clearly was that was. There's, like,
and we also talk about the same dude.
He was a fucking NWA champion in 2018, Rich. You tell me what sounds more cosplay than that.
Look, this man is a cosplay wrestler, but his cosplay is from 1986.
Right.
His cosplay is walking to the ring dressed like Star Trek. His cosplay is dyeing his hair blonde, like, for no fucking reason other than to, like,
to be more like his dad.
No, to be more like Ric Flair.
Well,
like
either, both of them.
Like to make his blood look good in the hair. Like, come on, man. Like, he's the definition. Didn't he dress up that Ring of Honor pay-per-view? He dressed up like some 80s shit that I don't know or whatever. His last ROH match against Jay Lethal, he came out.
But he did dress up as like a mother from Miami Vice for the match at the beach thing that they did in Miami in just January or February of this year.
Like, I don't know what he means by cosplay wrestler. He can look around the whole fucking roster and find people that dress up in their gear.
Rich. Librarians. Yeah. He helped hire these people, Rich. A fucking dinosaur, Rich. He helped hire a fucking dinosaur, Rich.
Like, Hikaru Shida just dressed up as some, like, Final Fantasy character in her last pay-per-view match.
That's been a gear she's been wearing ever since. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like,
you're helping usher in cosplay wrestling, and to be honest, like cosplay wrestling has been around my entire life,
right?
So I don't really, I don't really hold it against it. It's fine, it's okay. But like for you to say that I don't know what you're doing. Like, do you have that big of a lack of self-awareness?
Yeah, that's quite frankly what I'm getting at. Like, just new ways to grind my gears every week. He just manages it.
Okay, so do you think he put down the was it $25,000 or was it a $10,000 deposit for the NWA Championship? Which one was it back in the day?
I think it was $25,000.
Do you think he dropped that when he got that shit, when he took that shit off of Lagana in oh my god, Aldous? Do you think that happened?
He probably did because he's such a fucking mark.
Oh my god. Like, seriously, the National Wrestling Alliance World's Heavyweight Champion in 2018 talking about cosplay.
Yeah, like,
I'm sorry. You don't look like Ron Garvin to me. You don't like Ric Flair to me. You don't like Dusty Rhodes to me. Terry Funk. Whatever, man.
His protege is
Stardust. Stardust. I'm not even gonna say anything except for Stardust.
Yeah, you literally dress as your brother, like. and
I rooted for the Stardust. Remember, Rich? I thought that was my ringtone. Stardust introduced was my ringtone at one point back in like 2015 or whatever else when he started doing that. Like, I really like this thing. Like, I get so much shit from Floyd all the time about me talking about Cody. I've rooted for Cody for a decade. When he does this shit, I'm disappointed. I'm not like, I hate that dude. I'm disappointed when he does this shit. Let's move on. This turned into a huge tangent about Cody. Why do we talk about Cody every fucking week?
Because he does something dumb every week. Like,
he's exhausting. He really is.
Something happens every week where I'm just like,
he's exhausting.
I'm absolutely befuddled. Like, that Tony Khan is like, I don't know. I'm just befuddled. I don't get it. I never will. And he talked all this shit, but none of it had to do with Jake Hager or whatever. But so Hager came out and his wife, Catalina Hager, who we talk about people being efficient.
She's great in small doses. Absolutely. Yeah, her PR is through the roof.
Yes, through the roof. Like, every time she shows up, it is fucking awesome. So she basically walks up there. Hager, they do the face off and all that, whatever. But she comes up looking good, I might add, and throws water all over Cody, and Dustin is furious, and it's just like, well, the job is done.
Okay, so how many of the Nightmare family did you know up there?
Yo, there was somebody I'd never seen up there before. There's always someone I've never seen that shows up. But there were a couple guys up there that I had seen. Okay. I saw one of the guys. He walked to the ring with him at Revolution, but they are constantly adding members. They are constantly, just finding regular Joes off the streets and then handing them either a suit or one of those jackets. Man, like, look,
you always need ripe fruit on the tree. We talk about this Alley and a QT thing. Like, you just know that's going to happen eventually. You just know it, and like it's going. That might be the time when I finally like, look, dude, I don't care what Cody does. I just like, because I hate watching QT do that shit, do the shit he does in the ring. So it's like, they're gonna have a match together. Oh god, one of them's gonna blade. Like, it's gonna be so bad.
I'll be rooting for QT.
I'll be rooting for the match to end.
So they did the Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela vignette.
Yep. They did a truncated version of the YouTube version.
Yeah, the YouTube version is like way better, but it's like 3 minutes long. So I think every minute is valuable. So they cut it down to like a minute or so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, we'll get to the match in a second, but like, they look like a pretty good team already.
Yeah. So we got Brody Lee and Colt Cabana against Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Brody Lee ended up giving the pin to Colt Cabana on Joey Janela.
Yes, it was funny because like on the other show, probably at the same time, like you have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and like they're doing the same thing. Like Brody Lee and Raquel are just like, they are the stars, they're the world beaters, and they are like giving these self-esteem pity wins to these geek teammates they have for whatever reason. on both shows.
Amazing. Yeah, I like Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Like, Sonny Kiss way improved from last year when his offense looked like weak. You can't really say that anymore. I thought a lot of his dives looked good. Their double team moves are awesome. Brody being in there with him, it's just an awesome base for anything. But yeah, this was a pretty cool match. I liked it, and I thought Jim Ross was pretty good on commentary here.
So, what do you think of Joey in shorts?
I don't care. Like,
No, I'm saying, what do you think of the change in look? Like, we talk about, for example, Butcher and Blade coming out in all white, looking like Brooklyn Butchers. Like, what do you think of this? Do you think it's upgrade or downgrade or the same from previous weeks?
I think it's the same for him because, like, I think Joe Janela's aesthetic, like, as long as I see him in, like, a leather jacket and then, like, the glasses, like, it just works.
Well, I will say, like, it is a different look, but, like, I kind of got comfortable with the idea of him looking like he was cosplaying as, like, Lionheart Jericho. So, like, you know, whatever. I guess that era, you know, had to change up, whatever.
Yeah. So, after the match, Lance Archer ran out and laid out both Sonny Kiss and Joe Janela. So, a couple weeks ago on AEW Dark, they had Lance Archer come out on the stage and start talking shit to Joey and then get let off by Jake. So AEW Dark will show you the way time to time. So and so we've got Janela versus Archer. I wish it was an unsanctioned match, but it is not.
Oh, no lights out?
No lights out stipulation. So
okay. When do you think that match will be set?
Their match is on the second night of Fighter
Oh,
Fest.
okay.
So they showed a video package from Sean Spears beating Pineapple Pete on Dark with the loaded glove. They've also added in the Dark ticker, like showing the results.
Over the last couple weeks,
I think that's awesome.
Yes. They actually showed this week, they actually showed a replay of the loaded glove, which is like, thank you. See, it's not that hard. 30 seconds, take away 2 stage dives. Thank you. Appreciate you.
After that, then we got FTR and SCU. So this was awesome. This was like, I think Daniels like looked as good as he's looked in the promotion. Kazarian's also always awesome. FTR, like, they gotta quit this. We're old school shit. You're not old school. Like, you just do everything a million miles an hour and you grab the tag rope in the first 15 seconds of your match. And then Dash, I believe, or Cash, he did a Hurricanrana in this match. I don't know, James. That doesn't look like a fist to me.
Yeah, I guess not. Full disclosure for this match, I don't have much to say. Like, I don't know why, but I just couldn't get into the match. I was like,
really?
I just had a hard, I don't know what was going on, but I had a hard time like looking up from my phone. And it was just weird because like, I don't know if it's the, I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't. Like, I'll rewatch it. Like, there's a few matches I need to go back and watch or rewatch from this past week. That's one of them. Like, I didn't see Charlotte versus Asuka this week either. So, I guess I'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah. Like I said, I highly recommend this match.
Yeah, like, people liked it. A lot of people giving it like, 3 or anywhere from 3.5 to 4 stars. So yeah.
So they ended up getting or FTR ended up getting the win on on Daniels with the Goodnight Express. They basically cut a promo after the match, said they're not welcome when they arrive, even though we. Come on. They said like they literally had people scouting them like right. in the audience. So they cut a promo basically on Jungle Boy and the Luchasaurus.
Speaking of that, not only did they have people scouting, they had the 2 little heroes doing the scouting too.
Yeah. And then like they started talking about the Bucks, and after that, Butcher and the Blade was out there in their truck. Bitch, I was hollering when this happened, like, because like people started making memes about it. And, Butcher and the Blade in all white, it always just works. It's just fucking hilarious.
You tell me who that truck looks like it belongs to more, between the Butcher and the Blade or FTR right now. Like, maybe FTR when they were the revival in WWE, but like right now, that looks like their truck.
Yeah. It is amazing. So the Lucha Bros came out of nowhere. So Pentagon is back.
So happy.
out of the country. He's got clearance to leave Mexico, and I believe Phoenix lives in the United States. So this should be like, he should be around more, I guess, and it's good to see him healed from his injury.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like, he's probably, this mostly just to rest him up from that, not getting caught a few weeks ago. So
they jumped them and hit FTR with their package pile driver.
Yep.
Butcher and the Blade challenged him to an 8-man tag. So it was Lucha Bros, Butcher and the Blade, and then the Bucks ran in for the save on the Lucha Bros. And we figured out pretty much like I was saying a couple weeks ago, it was going to be an 8-man tag, but we got an upgrade because no Jimmy Havoc. We were substituting the Lucha Brothers in. So this match should be fucking awesome.
Yes. One thing I like to add is that we did get the stuffed package power driver from the Lucha Bros. I was upset that there was no like random jabron sitting outside that, like, after the double stomp from Phoenix off the top rope, he goes to just dive onto that fool and clear him out. I'm used to that. I'm used to the full experience of Ray Phoenix, but I guess that will have to do.
Yeah. So good to see them back, and I think going forward, like, don't you got to get the Lucha Bros involved with like Mox next? Like one of them.
I mean, some type of no DQ match involving Pentagon and Moxley has to be a dream match for a bunch of people that watch this show, right?
Yeah, I think people would fuck with that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, sure. You kind of got to rebuild Pentagon to get to that point. But yeah.
Yeah,
like if it were me, like, I think there's more value in right now that they're kind of cooled off. Right now, you kind of have this super deep tag division. You might be best served to use those guys as singles right now. Yeah, like I think people will buy Phoenix and Pentagon versus a lot of these monsters that like Cody and Moxley have killed off, and give them something to do with people that aren't just like, oh, they're just gonna be, those dudes are way too overqualified. They're just going to blow through some of these young, future plays in the babyface division for AEW. Like, you put out, I mean, and it's kind of weird because like they're also a heel faction, but it's like we don't know when we're going to see Pac again. So like maybe you just kill off Death Triangle until like Pac comes back. I don't know.
Yeah. So they did a video package for the tag match at Fyter Fest. This started very weird. I was like, and then at the end I ended up liking it, like when it got serious.
They were just trying to be goofy, and it's like that doesn't draw me to the match, and eventually they start, I forgot what the turn was, but it's like, okay, it turned around, but
I think it was Kenny when we started talking about like we're the fucking best. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. He turned heel. He basically started healing up. That's what it was. Yep. Yeah, but I was like, this, like, you see, like, I can't believe that like this little 2-minute thing for a random tag match on a TV show. It's gonna be like third from the top or whatever else. Is like, oh yeah, that's gonna be.
I think it's gonna headline night one.
You think it's gonna headline over Cody?
Yeah,
it
like
could.
the way they got it all listed. I think is gonna headline. Like, okay. I wouldn't be shocked if they open with the TNT title match.
Oh God.
Will Cody?
Don't you think that's what I'm saying? Don't you think the opener is too soon to Blade?
Look. What, he don't follow no rules anyway. Like, he's
good point.
So like what rules do we expect him to follow? So
just like his
he is the booker of the singles division. We were once told, but I didn't know or like kind of in control of this. I don't know.
Okay. I wish he booked himself better. Anyway, so yeah. The match is going to be really good, so I'm not concerned about it, but like...
Best friends dry, bruh.
Yeah.
Dry.
Like, I don't think they gave them enough personality stuff before this match to get them over if we were in front of a crowd. Like, people like them because they know they're affiliated or whatever else, but it's like... And we know that Trent's very good, and we know that Chucky's also good, but it's like... I would like to know more about Chucky being a weird, like he has a sense of humor and charisma to him, and I think you can bring that out in front of this audience and it will work. Like when he was talking about a few months ago when they were setting up for the that parking lot brawl match or whatever else. So you talk about being people, Lucha Bros kicking people in the dick or whatever else. Like, that was funny. Like, but we haven't really seen much of that since then. Like, I'm sure there's some of that all over BTE, but like, I'm talking about for the Dynamite audience. So, but whatever. Like, they're gonna have the match. It's gonna be great. So, what more can you ask for? I guess.
I'm expecting like 4.5. So they better fucking bring it. So, then of course we got another Moxley and Cage hype video. Fucking awesome.
Are you on board with me now?
About what?
About this shit being fucking awesome.
No, I said it was. I was down from the jump from the second they booked it.
I need you to reciprocate the amount of joy and gushing energy that I bring to it. I need that to match. Like,
wow.
I fucking love.
Like,
I love all this.
This is like a 100% percentage. Like every week that they've done this. Like this is the blueprint on how to do like a 4 to 6 week feud.
Yes. Like, all they've done is be like, say, I'm the best, I'm gonna prove it. No, I'm the best, I'm gonna prove it. They do, they've gotten physical one time, and then you have, Moxley can put his energy, and all they're doing is responding to each other from week to week, or from time to time, like each of their promos, and it's like, it's so good. And like, it's so simple too, is like, you have gifted talkers, and they go out there and they just basically just, point for point, they're just volleying, and it's like so simple. It seems like I was kind of concerned about Moxley. I wondered if they were taking the belt off of Jericho too soon, but it's like he goes, after kind of, it's a kind of a mulligan for everything that happened with the build towards Double or Nothing, but this year, this, so good. So like
the second you got him away from Hager and Brody Lee, it's like, and you put him in like a new situation, it's like rise to the occasion. So like, we'll see. We'll hope we can only hope that this match still happens. Yeah, and another thing I will say about the Brody Lee thing is like, whatever happened with it being too soon for him to be matched, for Brody Lee to be in a title shot or what a title picture, whatever else, is like, that match absolutely delivered. So I just want to put that out there. Like, we all agree on that, but like, just I want everybody to be like, wait, you didn't like that? Like, no, we love the match. The bill was left a lot to be desired. Yeah. Then he got a geek named John Cruz out of there. Yeah. So Taz went to the ring, basically cut another promo, and he called Moxley out, said he had a bullshit excuse for being at home, and it was just like. Like, did he really go there? Yes, he did. Well, we didn't even know it was COVID. It was Renee's COVID, but now that we know, it's like he knew that, and he's being an asshole, just like all the great like asshole heels in the past. When it's like the baby face isn't here for a legitimate reason, and it's not a legitimate reason, and we all know that. But you're so full of shit that you're willing to say that he's some version of a sucker. It's like. Oh, this is so good. Like, when Moxley shows back up, like, he's going to want to slap the fuck out of this man. Like, it's going to be great. Right. It's going to be so good. So there was a little backstage piece with Brody and Cabana celebrating their win. Cabana thought Wyndham felt good, and Brody Lee basically gave him a little speech and then said, we going to fight SCU next. And then Colt was like, hold on, what? Like, I'm booked with you again? Like, this is just a trial. Like, what you mean? Like, he gonna learn there's no easy way out. But that's Rocky 4. So he's still so it's SCU in a 6-man match against Brody, Cabana, and it might be Grayson. It's Grayson. Yep. So I was hoping they use Allen Angels, but Stu Grayson's just like, they're interchangeable kind of. So. Is 10 hurt? Yes, he's recovering from an injury, I believe. Okay. So after that, we got like Britt Baker and Swole dumped some trash on Britt Baker. Yeah. Then Matt Hardy and Santana. Sorry, we can't just brush it off. An all-time meme in Black history. Oh yeah, dumb trash. Dude, like I feel like I need to talk to Tanya and send her that GIF. I feel like she would very much enjoy that GIF. I think she would enjoy that as well. So, what's up, Tanya? So we had Matt Hardy and Santana. Matt Hardy ended up getting the win, but Santana was awesome the whole time during this match. And then it's like he lost to a fucking cradle, Matt Hardy, because apparently we can't beat Matt Hardy. I'm like, what the fuck? Why did that? Like, yeah, like Matt Hardy was moving around the ring like slow. Like,
bad.
I did not like the result of this match.
Let me phrase that. He didn't look bad. He looked old. Like, he was in the right places, but he was getting there very, very slow and creakily.
Yeah. So they jumped Matt Hardy after the match, and then Private Party came down for the save. Tag match booked between Private Party and Santana Ortiz. You can assume this was going to be like a 6-man tag with Sammy, but that was scrapped. So
obviously, yeah.
Then Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho came out for the main event segment, and Jericho basically cut a promo on him and ripped him up pretty good. He said, why did chicken cross the road 3 times? And then he compared Cassidy to the joke. He said it was a little bit funny and amusing at first, but stupid when you think about it. Talked about calling Tony Khan, Kenny and the Bucks and Cody and asking why we even signed this guy. And, he, watched some of your stuff and understood that he got over by being different. Talked about the famous Brian Pillman line. You got to get over by doing something different that no one's ever done and you'll be over. Jericho said if you try any of that bullshit, kick the shins off us, he's going to knock his teeth down his throat. Jericho was dead serious here while wearing leather pants. And...
I don't think about Jericho's leather pants no more. It just comes. That's just the wear. That's just the wear. So,
So he took his glasses off, and Cassidy did the shin kicks to Jericho. Jericho was furious, of course. And then they got into a big brawl that went all around the arena, and Orange Cassidy beat the shit out of this man. And we got a nice visual at the end where somehow he was bleeding from the ear and it bled all over his shirt.
Yeah, they basically brawled towards the crane cam, and they did like the Eric Rowan and Roman Reigns spot from last year where like the heel grabs the crane cam and just bashes the babyface upside the head with it. So I don't know how, but like it ended up cutting open his, side of his head, his ear, and he just started bleeding out of his ear really badly or whatever else, and it turned into a great visual. And like I saw it immediately, I was like, "Yep, that's a t-shirt." And then sure enough, a couple days later, t-shirt, PWTs, go get you one
quick. So yeah, that was Dynamite. I liked the show, but there was clearly setting up for next week, so that was a good go home show. But so next week, night 1 is Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. I think that's going to be, pretty good. Of course, MJF beat Jungle Boy last time. You kind of wonder who takes a pin this time. I'm going to go ahead and go with MJF and Wardlow getting the win here.
Yeah, I'll go with MJF and Wardlow. I don't see any reason to be MJF because they've clearly been building him for this long for some point. Like that AEW title match or one of these belts he has to go up against pretty soon. You'd imagine.
Yeah. We got Private Party and Santana and Ortiz. Kind of a cold match by itself, but I'm going to take Private Party for the upset here.
I think I'll go with Santana and Ortiz.
All right. Then we got Sheeta and Penelope Ford for the AEW Women's title. So we got 3 title matches on night 1. So this is an easy Sheeta title event. Yeah, right.
Hey, because what was it, Monday? They had 2 title matches on Monday the other day, and that's how they got the rating up. It was like they got hot shotting.
Yeah, right. Then we got I would think this is an easy Sheeta title defense, but I think this match is more about seeing what Penelope Ford has in a single situation, in a spotlighted single situation than anything else.
I hope that this match has been practiced like 4 times.
Then we got Cody versus Jake Hager for the TNT title. I could not be less excited.
I feel like there are things that Cody could do more important on this particular show as far as other contenders than Jake Hager. I don't know what he's done to warrant him getting a title shot. I don't know what he's done from a in-ring work standpoint to consider to justify him, getting this shot right as of this moment. Like, can we see him have?
Been wrestling on dark.
Can we see him do one good match before he gets a fucking title shot, please? Good match. Don't tell me, Moxley and Hager in front of empty arena was a good match. No, it was not. It went through like 5 segments, and only like 2 of those segments were good. They were very good, but like the rest of it was just there. That's a lot of just there for a long ass match. I don't expect that match to go this long, but like no, like I need Hager to like and don't give me the Stadium Stampede. That was a don't give me that. That shit.
Hey,
that
5-star match.
Oh, 5-star Hager, huh? No, 6-star Hager. It was 6 stars, wasn't it?
I think it was. Well, I gave it 5 stars, but
I think Meltzer gave it 6 stars.
Nah, I didn't hear that.
Okay. All right. Well, either way,
he didn't rate the match, but
that's right. What am I thinking of?
He talked like it would have been 5 stars.
No, I'm thinking of the tag match at Revolution. That's what I'm thinking of.
He got that one 6 stars. Yeah,
my bad. But yeah, like he better bring it. Like I keep giving him chance. They keep giving him chances, and he keeps not delivering to that level. Like eventually, he's going to either have to get the fuck on or show something.
Are you ready for Cody to do MMA?
Next match.
Then we got Hangman and Kenny. Hang Kenny, as I call them, and
Hang Kenny.
Yes. Against best friends for
I guess it's better than alternative to call him Kenny Mayne.
Yeah, Kenny Mayne. Wow. I think this should be awesome. This is going to be, should be a great match. Should be a great match. Best friends should come in motivated because this might be their only shot. And Kenny and Hangman have been rolling throughout the year. I think this will be their 6th title defense. Kenny's been awesome in every big match, and Hangman, you got to assume that he's had more time to get in condition. So,
and if not, Kenny just being there for 2/3 of the match is fine.
Right. So that's night 1. I guess night 2 we will hold off until next week.
Yeah.
But, what we never hold off, James, we always have to make sure that that's right. I keep it on me just in case I need to, freshen up, trim up. You heard Jeremy on Keepin It Strong Style. He says, something about the Minoru Suzuki squiggly lines. Me, I do not do the lines at all. This is a fresh landscape, as I would say, for a man. So this is a manscaped deal here. So of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about by this point, I'm talking about the Lawnmower 3.0, not the 1.0, not the 2.0, the 3.0. James,
are you saying that?
What do you know about the Manscaped?
Are you saying that they turned the O2 or never mind? I can't even get that one. I was saying the O2 don't make no sense. Whatever. Yes. But yeah, I actually got my box of Manscaped recently, and I gave it a try. It works well. I appreciate being as a big dude myself, getting some of that stuff off of you helps cool off some of this stuff. Helps it breathe. So I appreciate you, Manscaped. I appreciate you.
So the coolest thing, like I would say about Manscaped that I like is you can do it either wet or dry. So like if you're doing the dry shave, you can do that. You can bring in the shower with you. It won't not work. It's USB charge, so it's like futuristic. And the best thing about it is you guys get 20% off and free shipping. Like you can't beat that with the code SUPLEX at manscaped.com. Like that is just one of the coolest things that we've ever had come across here. And just keep that in mind if you guys want to pick that up. Is the sponsor of this show, and it is you get 20% off with free shipping with the code SUPLEX. That's SUPLEX. If you guys don't know how to spell suplex, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with the free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code SUPLEX.
Yeah. Okay. So from there, I guess we'll go to NXT. So we ended up starting off with the match where I forgot to mention this last week, but backstage when Damian Priest was coming with the Dodge Challenger, his car, quote, quotation marks around it. In the background, you had Cameron Grimes looking mischievous at, oh, I see this guy with his car getting out of the parking lot, coming into the campus or coming into the building. After Priest won his match against Killian Dane, where he fought from underneath a lot, fighting through a back injury, he shows up to see his Dodge Challenger with all of his tires slashed. And he's pissed. He's cussing up a storm. Then all of a sudden, somebody drives by and it's Cameron Grimes saying, "Hey man, you want me to call you an Uber?" Indicating he's an asshole that slashes man's tires. I mean, it was either that or it could have been, the local PD. But whatever. So this week we start the show and they're in the parking lot again, and it is showing Priest on the floor, trapped by his car door as Cameron Grimes is pushing the door on his chest and his back.
So we got another Full Sail parking lot attack.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is the thug section out there. Rich, how many times you been to Full Sail?
At least twice.
Boy, did you go through there with a bulletproof vest on?
Look, I ain't going back no time soon.
Like, I was there in February, and I'm just like, my God, how bad has it gotten since I've been there?
Head on the swivel.
I guess so. So, from there, Cameron Grimes comes into the ring, gets on the mic, and says, "Ref, announce me the winner. Count this jackass out. He's done for." Priest fights off personnel and refs and says, "I want to fight this dude." He's taped up around his chest and his torso. It's all taped up. Gets in the match. They end up having a match. It's pretty good. It's nothing really called right down as a noteworthy match. It's pretty much just Priest is trying to fight from underneath as Grimes is just taking advantage of his back throughout the whole time. He's trying to fight, but he keeps selling his back. Pretty good selling. And then eventually they end up outside and Cameron Grimes ends up hitting the double stomp. And then he gets him in the ring and he ends up hitting another double stomp again. He ends up getting the win, the cheap win, which is like, they clearly want to do something with Cameron Grimes, but can we please get him just one legitimate win over anybody worth a damn? Every time he beats anybody...
Man.
Sorry?
Is he the Dakota Kai of men?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that, but he would be a high contender for that. But just like, can he beat somebody and have it not just be, oh, he's immediately going to have a rematch and it's going to be taken back from him? That's the case. It's like, this is a weird way to justify somebody being on TV. Is it like, oh yeah, he always wins under the flukiest of circumstances? It's like, I understand he's a heel, but it's like, damn, like, can we give him some credibility? And him picking up scraps and being a vulture is not necessarily the credibility that I think that somebody that's that good, quite frankly, should get. But then again, it's like, look at the heels on the roster. Like, maybe he's so far down low that he has to be this, miracle sneak and win type person. Maybe that is the case. But it's like, I think some of these heels that he is behind don't have the kind of potential he does as far as like being a new act. Like, Johnny's been around for so long. Like, he's not, clearly Johnny's a better wrestler, but it's like, that's not the point anymore. Like, he's been around for so long, it's like, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing else for Johnny to do unless he's going to start fighting like brand new tweeners and baby faces every rip. Like, unless he fights Cross soon, like, I don't know what's next for Johnny Gargano. For example.
I mean, he can win the title as a heel,
but that would necessitate that Adam Cole leaves. I don't know when any of these things are happening, Rich.
Look. In NXT, they figure it out on Saturdays because that's when it all gets announced.
Yeah, kind of. All right, so after that, we end up getting a backstage situation where actually we're showing a video from earlier in the day where they're trying to interview Rhea. Rhea's walking into the building, but then we get interrupted where Robert Stone says, "Look, this is some special shit that Robert Stone brand is. Like, I don't give people second chances, but I do have a golden ticket, and this golden ticket entitles you to a second chance." I guess it's some Willy Wonka shit, but I would like to note that now that he's with Aaliyah's around, his look is less haggard. It's like now that he hit rock bottom last week when Aaliyah grabbed him and he was drunk. Now he's a little cleaner now. Like, his hair's done. He looks a lot less musky this time. Like, I guess it's progression. So she says. So she basically doesn't want to hear anything with shit. She picks him, carries him, drags his ass to a dumpster, throws him in the dumpster. Rich, we are throwing people in the trash like at historical pace right now in NXT.
I mean, last week Big Swole just threw Britt Baker in the trash, so lots of trash, getting involved here.
Wednesday wrestling is go to watch your trash throwing. Like, people get thrown in the trash left and right.
White folks getting thrown in trash cans. My God. Who's booking this?
So
I just want to stop there and think about Rhea Ripley. Now, this clearly isn't like, this isn't. I don't think this is meant to be taken to some serious angle. But
no, it's why the fuck shit.
Look, we shouldn't even be here, James.
I agree. She should be on the main roster.
Like, look, you remember how hot she was when she was like, "I'll drop you," like, and like she was doing all this shit in the lead up to War Games. She felt fresh, she felt new, and you want to talk about somebody that's been buried under the earth? It's her. Like,
I don't know about
Charlotte
buried, but Jets have definitely been cool.
Buried. Like, when you talk about doing angles of Robert Stone and Aaliyah, and then going over Strong where you have the ring filling up for you like your Sting knocking off Hogan in the NWO, the longtime evil champion, and then getting fed to the Charlotte wood chipper, and then getting beat by Io Shirai so Charlotte can't do a job, and you're doing the jobs over and over again, to being here with Aaliyah, who will never leave NXT. If that's not burying, I don't know what it is.
You know what this feels like?
I thought Triple H said he was going to make her hotter. I thought Triple H said that the Rhea Ripley we have now is better than the one we had a couple months ago.
Okay, Rich. This is where I'm getting it. I believe that they have her in the same way that it was with Shayna from December until the Royal Rumble, where it's just like she's not there. She's going to the main roster. We just haven't put her up there yet. It feels like they're clearly going to go to like SummerSlam, Rhea versus Charlotte at SummerSlam, and Charlotte's out right now. Rhea has nowhere to be right now if Charlotte's not on TV, so let's leave her on NXT for now. Like, she's basically she basically have her parked for 2 months until Charlotte comes back from whatever surgery she's having, and they're going to have a match at SummerSlam. That's kind of seems like where they're headed. I'm not saying that this is good because this is completely killing her from December to now, but that's where it seems like they're headed, because I don't know where the fuck else they could be headed. Like, I don't know what you're going to get another match with Io, and Io beats her. That'll help.
We don't know what to do with babyfaces here. Like, and I remember the whole time it was happening, people were excusing this, like that this was this thing that I'm like, yo, she was already over. You didn't have to fuck with it,
right?
Like, y'all chose this path,
and it wasn't even. None of it was actually about her. And it, like, you look at it now, like. It's absolutely fair to say right now that none of this was actually about her, unless they actually do this thing where like she gets her win back at SummerSlam. This whole situation was about the whole thing was like, we need a match for Charlotte Flair, so we can't have her fight Sasha or Asuka or anybody else, so we got to find somebody fresh because he's fought everybody else and beat them all, so let's pull up somebody before they even got a chance to get over on the main roster. And then hopefully we can rehab them over the weeks and months to come after they eventually get to the main roster.
Boy, it would have been a lot more valuable if she just went over Charlotte at WrestleMania. would have just like saved the world had she done that.
Can't do that because she was remember she was promised things at WrestleMania 35 that she didn't get, or 35 that she didn't get. So we had to make up some of this at WrestleMania 36 apparently. Man,
you know what
that means?
Somebody got to teach Rhea Ripley the elite level working. Someone has to teach that. I'm not putting her over. You know what this must mean? Like, maybe, just maybe, when you talk about how like Vince is so dead set on doing Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania again, like maybe that was promised to Sheamus. That's why he's been trying to do this shit since like 2000. Again, since for like 2014. It's like, we gonna get back to it eventually. I promise you, bro. I promise you, Sheamus. Bro, he broke up an entire tournament bracket just to do that match again. I refuse to watch it.
I didn't watch it, but
I did not watch it, and I just prayed for Daniel Bryan's safety. Luckily, he's still wrestling. Luckily, he's still upright and mobile. Luckily, he hasn't been sent home.
Have you seen? Did you see the final to that tournament?
No.
Oh my god, it was great. It was great. Like that's probably the match of the year in the main roster. Probably, yeah. Yeah. So what was I going to say? Oh, back to NXT. So Rhea grabs Stone, throws him in the trash. Aaliyah defends Robert Stone, who's in the trash, to Rhea. She flashes, loses her damn mind, and slaps Rhea. After she slaps her, her face comes over like, oh my god, what have I done? I'm going to fucking die. I just slapped Rhea Ripley. Rhea grabs her face, smiles, and says, I'll see you in the ring. Like, she wasn't mad. She was like, look at you. You got some balls on you. I'm finna beat the brakes off you. So then they go to part 2 of Thatch Can Wrestling, Rich. This started to become one of my favorite like weekly gimmicks. This week, he taught us the single leg Boston Crab. Rich, do you know why the single leg Boston Crab is actually disgusting as a move?
Because it fucks you up your knee and your groin.
Yes. In layman's simple wrestling terms, he explained this. But as the Inside Show, he explained that if you grab with the single leg, and just like, in UFC, when people throw elbows or throw forearms or whatever else, like, there is a part of your bone that extends on your forearm, that, like, if you leave it open, it feels almost like you feel the hard part of your bone, and that's what really hurts people when you get struck with forearms or elbows, right?
Yeah.
He explained that once you wrap the single leg under, when you get up on there, when you wrap it around the Achilles, there is a blade that extends on the upper part of the forearm, right? And, there's a bone that extends through your skin, or you can feel through your skin. You squeeze hard and you apply pressure on the Achilles, and you leverage it, and it hurts even more. This man is Stu Hart, Rich. I love this. Every single week he comes out and says, like, how dangerous these submission holds are. It's basically like the Taz shit, except, like, he's in the ring beating up these trainee geeks that are out here trying not to catch COVID. It's the best. He's out here torturing people. Like, look, if COVID don't get you, Thatcher will. I love this. He told those geeks, like,
what a life.
He said, look, good work this week, but, the fun starts next week. I just love it. I can't wait to see what he does next week. I can't wait. Actually, I know what he's doing next week. Next week he has a match against Oney Lorcan. That match is going to be good. That match is going to be so good. It's a tough white man match, Rich. A tough white man match. They finna beat the shit out of each other and put some missions on each other. We gonna see who's tougher. We gonna see who's tough.
So the tough white man match. Who else is in this tough white man division?
Well, he just sent Riddle out of the NXT tough white man division, didn't he?
Yeah, Riddle's gone. Like
he sent the number one dude out. Division. He took a UFC fighter out, Rich, in a cage match.
Unbelievable.
So you got obviously, either one of Lorcan or Birch are tough white men, right?
Yep.
You got Thatcher naturally. Okay, how do we handle this? Foreign speaking whites. Do we want to throw those in there? Because we can put Walter, obviously. Okay, is Dijak tough or just big?
He's just big.
He's just big. Okay, he's spectacular. He's spectacular white man. Ain't too many of them. So
Pete Dunne.
Oh yes, he's definitely like technical. Look, anybody. Basically, what this pumps down to it. If you are somebody that you believe will be in a blood sport one of these days, you are a tough white man. Like
tough white man division.
John Moxley, tough white man. Josh Barnett, tough white man.
Yeah, shout out to the tough white men listen to this show.
Yes,
y'all done power through.
Yes.
Getting yelled at every week.
Allison Kay, tough white woman.
Correct.
Okay, so move on from.
If there are any other tough white men or women, I will name them throughout the show. That just come to my mind.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so then we end up getting that match between Santos Escobar and Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas they replayed what happened last week. I didn't mention this, but Escobar cut a promo talking about how he's leaving behind his legacy because he wants to be more than just a luchador, more or less. And the outcome's Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick says, they always said I had more heart than brains. He tries to fight in 3-on-1. They all fight towards the equipment. Escobar gets him up and gives him the Phantom Driver off of a stage through a table. The only part of the table that Drake Maverick landed on was his head. So, like, his body and his back and his ass and his feet all landed on the concrete. It looked just disgusting. Like, he earned that quote-unquote ambulance stretcher job, that kayfabe one that they did, because that may have been a shoot for all we know. Do you know what the Phantom Driver is, his finish?
No.
It's basically like, I put you in the fireman's carry, and instead of me giving you an AA, I give you a Michinoku Driver.
Okay, like on your... It's kind of like the Awful Waffle then. Like the Chuck E. T move.
Except it's a Michinoku Driver instead of a Power Driver.
Power Driver, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So... Escobar has the match with Atlas. As last week when Drake was getting sent off put into the ambulance, Atlas is looking at him, looking distraught because, they had a bond based off of, them both in the same block, and they were kind of rooting, and Atlas rooting for him not to lose his job and that whole thing. So they had the match, and they didn't give Atlas any type of protection. Santos Escobar just beat him clean. Match was pretty good. I'm still trying to get used to I'm still trying to come to the some type of I guess I'm still in the illusion that Phantasma is going to be more than just a good wrestler, as opposed the spectacular stuff. Not either those days are over or that's not his game, right? So he seems like the kind of guy that's going to be like Luchador Adam Cole, from before 2019, where it's he's there to enhance the other people he's wrestling. He's not there to be spectacular in his own right. So we'll see as a cruiserweight champion how that works out for him. But we'll see.
So hopefully Swerve can go ahead and get his shot at this man since he holds a victory.
Yes,
I think this is the perfect time to talk about Swerve got a big win over Tony Nese. I watched 205 live.
So. Okay, so that means
last time I did that. Never. Okay,
right. I haven't done that in years. So that would mean that, after remember, he had a chance to win that B group, that B block, but he lost because Nese cost him because he had the tiebreaker over Phantasma. So Nese cost him against a guy that's been fired for being a rapist, and then they had a match the next week where Swerve beat Nese, so then Swerve was on 205 Live, and you say he beat him again, right?
Swerve beat him again.
Feud over with. No 50-50.
Yeah, they won they gave him a main event time. I think the show's 26 minutes long. The match is 24 minutes. So they let him really go.
I need to check that out. I really like Swerve, obviously. I like their first match. This was it was 20-something minutes to have a killer match. So. We talked about this. Atlas was somebody that could have got smoked. He just got that handled. Maverick is clearly in the hospital still. Kushida has to be around the corner, and same thing for Swerve, because Swerve's owed a title match. He beat the champion in group, in block matches. So yeah, like, we'll see where this leads, but ultimately it's going to lead through those three guys, and especially he's going to have to go through Drake Maverick again.
I'd like to see. I mean, if Swerve doesn't, I'd like to see him get in the North American division.
I would like to see Swerve on my TV almost every week. So yeah. Okay, so then from there, we end up getting another Undisputed skit. Basically, they do the same shit they did last week with Roddy is in therapy with a fake doctor that is Kyle O'Reilly. This time, he says, "You know what? I've been thinking about this, and I'm worked through some of my fear issues or whatever else. So I'm good going into the trunk." So then this week, he turns around and actually looks at his shrink this week, and he's like, "Kyle, what are you doing here?" And so instead of being like, "Wait, y'all gaslit me for the last 2 weeks, you assholes, I thought you were my friends," he's like, "Oh, okay, the band's back together. Woo, 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 woo." They dumbass jocks. So this week,
they got to go, bro.
Yeah, this week, Roddy gets outside. They open the trunk. He gets in the trunk. Adam Cole did something I thought was hilarious. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to close the trunk on 3. 1, 2, close the trunk." Because Adam Cole's an asshole. So open the trunk, lets him out. I thought the whole time it was going to be like, oh shit, the driver of the limo this time is actually Loomis. It wasn't. So they let him out. They say, "All right, well, you're so good that we're going to have you have a match with Loomis again this week." He looks shook, but he's like playing like he's tough for his friends. And then they cut away from that.
Roger Strong, tough white man.
Yes. Like, he's a wrestler, but when he wrestles like the other tough white men, he rolls on the floor with them too, and also grapples. So yes, I will induct him into the like. This is almost like the Pete Dunne corollary. Like, they're not really blood sport guys, but like they'll get on there and roll with you. Like Daniel Bryan, tough white man as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we get Malcolm Bivens and Andrew Shure. They're pointing out that
not tough white men.
Yes, not white. So then Bivens points out that they came down last week during the NXT tag match just to take a look. We weren't doing anything. We didn't touch anybody. And then these 2 thugs named Birch and Lorcan came out and attacked us.
It's
Rich,
amazing.
do you understand how hard I laughed when Malcolm Bivens called 2 white men thugs?
That's amazing.
On Vince McMahon's television?
I don't know how that slipped through. But
down is up.
NASCAR's playing Lift Every Voice and Sing, so everything's backwards right now.
I guess so. By the way, that's a fucking noose. Anyway.
Yes, it is. So if y'all have any questions about who the tough white men are, so you can do #TWM just to keep it kind of exclusive to the show, so you guys don't have to tweet the whole word out. Do #TWM, and you can ask me or James whether the wrestler you nominate is among the tough white men. We will tell you.
Yes. Like, it will be totally arbitrary, but it will be fun.
Yes.
All right. So then from there we end up getting this great hype package for the triple threat match later in the show. It was almost like one of those hype packages they do for a takeover main event, and they made it make sense. So I mean, not that this didn't make sense, but like, it wasn't like they didn't make it seem like they got to this conclusion like in the last like a week ago. Like, it seemed like this was something that was building for a couple or like probably since the takeover in June, which is like, that's not really what they did. Like, it was really just Gargano and Lee, and like a tease that Lee wanted a match with Cole over a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden like Johnny comes back into the picture, and like Finn Balor like comes to Lee about it and whatever. So, but it was nice. Then we end up getting Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Casey Catanzaro and Kane Carter. Those two, Caden and Casey, just like I said last week, it's like these two, if they were in a different division, wouldn't be just prelim people in that division. They'd be higher, and there'd be people that would be getting, you know, more dates. And if this were like 4 years ago's NXT, they would get better because they would be people they were relying on, as opposed to like relying on Io Shirai and like Nixon, Neville, and Evie as dead ringers.
They will never prosper, Casey and Caden Carter here, because they're cute, lovable baby faces, right? And what does NXT do with those? They end up turning them all heel.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
And
this day, like
they're never going all the way with either one of them.
no, I don't think so. Unless you get to a point to where like they're around. I think the only chance they have is if they call up a bunch of the women like Io, Rhea, Tegan.
So basically, we're talking about turning the whole NXT over.
Like 2022 NXT would be like when they would finally get their shot.
Yikes!
And it's like we've seen
at the wrestling school,
like right, and we've seen. Think about it. We've seen them in on these house shows. They rip it up as a tag team. Like Casey's and we've seen Casey with enough, you know, veteran or talented women in like the Mae Young Classic or NXT, whether it's been with Mercedes Martinez or Candice or Rhea Ripley, to know that like she clearly has something. It's just, you know.
Speaking of Mercedes Martinez, ain't she coming back?
Yes,
soon?
they did another vignette and say that she's coming soon again. So they're hyping up her return, which, you know, is cool. I don't know. Like, I think she needs to be immediately brought in as like, at the least, some type of gatekeeper. Like upper mid card, like somebody that's like, you know, in that mix with like Mia and Candice, maybe even above them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, back to that tag match with Candice and not Candice, but Casey and Kaden versus Raquel and Dakota. Most of the match is just. The match starts off with Candice and Raquel, and it's pretty much like a slightly lesser version of like Casey and Rhea from the Mae Young Classic, where it's like she's big, she has no chance, but like she's so spectacular and is like very she's faster. It's just cat and mouse, and she's basically just jerrying it up to and just destroying this Tom. Then both tag partners switch, and it's mostly then from that point you just get Dakota feeding and working with the other baby faces until eventually Rhea's had enough of it, or not Rhea, Raquel's had enough of this shit. Raquel catches her out the sky. Casey catches her out the sky, grabs with one arm, has her in like a one arm power bomb position.
Saw that.
Oh my god. Kaden tried to stop her. She gets big booted to the ground, and she basically like power bomb / choke slams her to hell, and then tags in Dakota to get her win. So she comes in, slinks in, and puts on her submission on a dead body and gets the win. After the match, Dakota looks to the camera and says, "I'm gunning for you, Io," and I'm just like, a part of me, I had to laugh at that.
She's like, you know, easy first title defense, like written all over her.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second, but yeah, could very well be that. Then we get what was probably my favorite match of the week, but on the Wednesday shows: Karrion Kross versus Bronson Reed. I'm not even going to try to describe what happened in this match. It was Big E's professional wrestling. Two big men slapping meat, throwing each other around. They did not want water. They did not want bread. All they wanted was meat. To quote Booker T. They threw each other around on their heads and necks. They no-sold. They roared. They ran into each other. It was excellent. It was fun. This was like a 5 to 8 minute match of just big dudes beating the shit out of each other. It was fun. At the end, Karrion won with his Saito suplex and then slaps on his choke finish for the win. this match gave me more hope in Karrion Kross than I had when he beat the shit out of Tommaso Ciampa. Which is like really saying something. So then we end up getting Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah. Rhea's whooping her ass. I think she doesn't even leave her feet at any point in this match, but she just beats the hell out of Aaliyah. Robert Stone keeps trying to do interference, and it keeps getting thwarted. There's one spot where she has her in the inverted standing Texas Cloverleaf thing, and then all of a sudden Robert Stone gets up on the apron, takes off his shoe, and throws it at Rhea. No DQ. She drags him into the ring, takes off his shirt, or takes off his jacket, rips it off of him. Aaliyah, I think she goes for a schoolboy. She don't even go to the ground on the schoolboy. She just grabs her and then slaps on the move and gets the finish. So then we get Loomis and sorry?
I said inspiring.
Yeah. So then we get Loomis versus Roderick Strong. Roderick gets in the ring, gets out the ring, gets in the ring, gets out the ring. A full Jay White Naito special, and then at the end he runs away because he's scared.
I was gonna say Jay White's professional wrestling, so yeah. Jay White, not a tough white man.
No. So then we go. So then he's tough in that he professionally wrestles, but he's not tough as far as like that's his persona, that's his brand. He's not. Look. He's not going to be the face of the tough white man brand. He just can't.
Correct.
Yeah. So they go backstage, show Aaliyah and Stone talking to Regal. They want a rematch for Aaliyah. Regal says, "How about this? Handicap match. Y'all two versus Rhea." At first, he don't want it. And Robert Stone says, "You know what? If we win, Rhea has to sign on with the Robert Stone brand." Regal says, "I can't agree to that. Like, I haven't talked to Rhea." Rhea walks up behind Stone, slaps him on his, puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "No, I'm good with those terms. See you next week." And then walks away. She finna beat Robert Stone ass. So, then we end up getting the announcement: Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox in a number one contenders match for NXT Women's title. That'll be next week's show. And actually it's been updated. That is now an elimination match, so that's going to be great. Let's see. Oh yeah, then we get the main event. NXT Triple Threat North American title match. Keith Lee, the champion, versus Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. Match is pretty much... Keith Lee is big and overwhelming, and these two don't have a chance unless they team together to try to take the big monster off of his off his feet. They team up, and then they start wrestling. Then Keith Lee gets back up, and then he then proceeds to beat the shit out of both of them. This match had some callbacks to different moments that they all three have had with each other. They teased at one point that Finn Balor was going to give him a brainbuster give Johnny a brainbuster on the floor, but Keith Lee pounced them mid-move, and they both were sent flying. And then the finish of the match was a play on the triple threat match at the end of last year between Keith Lee and... Keith Lee, Dijak, and Finn Balor, where Keith Lee has the match won until Finn Balor comes off the top rope to break up the pin with a coup de grace and steals the pin. Keith Lee has Johnny beat with the BBC. Yes, that's exactly what the acronym for that is. And then Balor goes to hit his move, but this time around, Keith Lee has his back, has him is pinned with his face up. He jumps off, he moves out the way, Finn Balor stomps. Gargano picks up Finn Balor and hits him with the finish, and then he pins Finn Balor. So I'm
shocked. Finn Balor did a job.
Yes, he does jobs. I think this is the first clean job he's done, 100% clean. Like, he had the one loss to in the NXT title match against Adam Cole, where Gargano returned from getting his brain busted literally. So I think this is his first true 100% clean job. But yeah, like I was a really good match. I would probably give it just 3.5. But you know, this week I wasn't really into either show that much, so there's that. So I might be tripping on like this match. I might be tripping on the FTR tag match. Those are matches I have to rewatch and reevaluate. But at first, while watching both of them, I was like, I expected more from both of these. But you know, it might just been that like I've been watching a shit ton of New Japan, so. You know, it will. Look, sorry, Tony Khan, sorry, Triple H. You go watch Shingo in show, and then go watch this, and you tell me these are the same level of quality. Sorry, not happening, not possible, not real. So yeah, next week's show, Loomis versus Roddy in a strap match, because then, you know, the poetry of the storytelling is now Roddy can't go anywhere. A fatal 4-way match, number one contendership match, Tegan and Dakota and Mia and Candice elimination match. I don't know when they get their title shot, but that situation. You get Sasha versus Io, non-title match, and I'm trying to think what else is on the card. Oh, Timothy Thatcher.
The tough white man match.
Yeah, so lots to look forward to on Wednesday Wrestling next week.
Yep. What was so we got Cole versus Lee set, and I guess I wanted to apologize because that Io Shirai breaking up actually led to something.
Yeah,
I'm still confident that it was a give NXT something, but they actually booked something in the outside of it. Sasha Banks versus Io Shirai. So like when Sasha and Bayley
match
by proxy like completely outdo Charlotte, what's the excuse going to be? Like ratings wise and everything else, what's the excuse going to be?
I don't know if they'll have an excuse as much as it's just like everyone
will turn their heads.
Everyone knows this. Like, we've known this since 2016, for fuck's sake. Like, Sasha has always been a bigger draw when they were pushed on similar levels to Charlotte. She's always been a bigger draw than Charlotte. Always. We've known this, man. It's been almost half a decade.
Sasha versus Io, that's tempting. And I don't be watching the Yellow Raw.
Look, you say that's tempting. Bayley's going to be there. You know what's going to happen.
Oh, okay, yeah. That finish can be nothing but terrible.
Look, even beyond that, Sasha is the contender for Asuka's Raw title. She's not going to just be being clean and sent off. It's not going to happen. So whatever your expectations are for this match, they should be sky high because these are two of the best wrestlers in the world. They
hot shot it in 1 week. Imagine if they built to it. Imagine if they cared about it. Like, that's the major problem.
The real major problem is, like, one, you know you're never going to get the Sasha and Io match that you want on the main roster. It's never going to happen, right? Like, we're just now getting to a pay-per-view Asuka and Sasha match
in 2020.
Right. So for you to hold out hope that, like, yeah, they're going to do Io and Sasha right on the main roster, never going to happen, my guy. Like, that's the reason why I feel like it's kind of the reason why, like, we made that one of our matches on the One Nation Radio, or not One Nation, the Social Suplex draft this year. Was like, we drafted those two, we put them in a match together because, like, you're probably never going to see it the way you want to see it in WWE. But another thing is, like, you're doing it now, and this is clearly just to play defense against Fyter Fest. So, and, like, politically, they're not going to beat Sasha clean. So, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be some version of a fuck finish. Either a double count out or Bayley's going to interfere.
Inspiring.
Right. So, as I said, don't get your hopes up. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun as it happens, and it'll be just like this the Io and Charlotte match, where, like, they're having a good ass match and all, and it's headed towards, the 4-star territory, and then all of a sudden, Charlotte pulls out a fucking kendo stick. Yeah. So that's Wednesday, or that's next Wednesday's shows, and let's see what else we have.
So let me try to predict the finish. So, like, how about Io has Sasha dead to rights with the moonsault, and then Bayley rolls in to sacrifice herself for the moonsault and pull her out the way, and then they just like stomp the shit out of her.
I think you're onto something. However, I'm going to see your pull Sasha out the way and see you with. I'm sorry, and match that with she gets up on the apron and shoves her off. And then they stomp her out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. New Japan Cup update. Do I have the update or do you have the update? Because I thought you had the update because I had it on me. I just want to talk about how great Shingo and In-Show was.
Yeah, go have at it.
Oh my god. Okay.
I caught it in passing. I had it up while I was working. So
I
didn't zoom in, focus on it, but they were hitting each other pretty hard.
Live matches in the empty arena area. Or era, not area. The era of this. That is the best regular rule singles match easily. They beat the shit out of each other. It played off of their Best Super Juniors match from last year. It had the ending where Show finally puts him away. He was dead to rights, and then until he hits one move and it changes everything. He hits a straight jacket power driver, and it changes everything. Like more Rocky stuff. The Russian is cut at that point. He staggered, hits him with another one, hits his move and then wins. It's just great wrestling. I have this in higher regard than last week's Suzuki and Nagata and Ishii and Desperado. I like Shingo's just the fucking like he's one of those dudes where it's like at any given moment you can say this person's the best wrestler in the world, and like I don't want to, and I have no arguments with you. Like you say Ishii's the best wrestler in the world, I hear you. Omega's the best wrestler in the world, I hear you. Tanahashi's the best wrestler in the world, I hear you. Pac's the best wrestler in the world, I hear you. Like, and in that moment right there, he was the best wrestler in the world. Like that, him and Show. Like, I know you're a Yo guy, but like Show and him just have such great chemistry. There's no see like, I don't know if they'll ever see Show in this way to where they will give him a win over Shingo. I just don't, at least not yet. But I think Show is going to be the one that they push whenever they eventually go with this, full on singles thing instead of the Roppongi 3K. Like that, maybe they'll be great career rivals, whatever else. They probably will be, but like I think the one that they're really going to, get behind initially at first is going to be Show.
Yeah, that's clear.
Yeah.
Some other results. I totally should have seen Tanahashi losing Tai Chi, but
do you watch that match?
I caught some of it in passing. It was a lot of Tai Chi cheating and kicking the shit out of Tanahashi, quite frankly.
Tanahashi went into his bag and pulled out all of the selling. Like, the match starts where he's on the top rope, doing his pose, and then Tai Chi, this asshole, comes from behind and power bombs him off the middle rope. And
he's also beating the fuck out of Tanahashi with chairs with the referee looking straight at him.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I think that was before the bell rang, right? Or no?
This is during the match.
You're right. But before the match started, Tanahashi sold this power bomb as if he had just got as if he got fucking destroyed. Like he sold it so bad, like you were wondering, like, did he bump his head on the, during the power bomb? Like, is this match is over? Gets up, they continue fighting. He's just fighting for me the whole time, just fighting for underneath, getting his ass up, selling for Tai Chi, end up outside the ring, chair shots, as you mentioned, the ref, and credit, I think it was Red Shoes, credit to Red Shoes as usual. Asshole is cheating. No, fuck you. I'm not counting this 3 count. I love that. That's my favorite thing is like, look, if people are going to do DQs or whatever else, and you're not going to take the ref, at least get it over by saying the ref is like letting stuff play, but he's not going to and I need a decisive winner. I'm not going to let any cheating be dictated into the winner of this. I always love Red Shoes matches like that. So, match continues. He goes for a Saito suplex. Taichi goes to give Tanahashi a Saito suplex.
That shit looked like it hurt.
Before we get to the first one, he sold it like it was death, right?
Yeah.
He goes for a second one later in the match. Tanahashi turns it into a fucking sling blade, and I was like, yes! Why are you so good? So then he hits him with another Saito later in the match, and that he's just fucking devastated because he sold the last one that bad. So you're just like, oh god, like he really, and then he got the second one, and then he gets the third one. He's like, oh god, again, and then Taichi gets a second power bomb, and it's like because you know how bad the first one was, how bad he sold it. You're just like, oh god, he's dead. And then he hits the Black Mephisto and wins, and it's like Tanahashi put that dude over as well as he could. While making it believable that like Taichi could beat Tanahashi, he's got to jump on him. And Tanahashi fought, and he sold this dude's offense. It's devastating, and here we are with Taichi. Like, he's not gonna be my favorite wrestler ever, but like he's a dude that like you can see why they put him in these spots.
What else we got? We had a long Okada and Nagata match. I haven't seen that match yet.
I have not either. I heard it was good, but not great.
Yeah, I heard Yoshihashi pulled something out of Tenzan, which is like amazing. Yes. And I heard it was like the best match of the day in that region. If you want like thorough breakdowns on this, definitely check out Keepin It Strong Style. Yeah. They've been all over it. Joe Lanza also. Yeah,
we heard it in Big Mike's Audio Nightmare 2 on F4W. Yeah, man. We are here to cherry pick the sweet fruit. We are not here to watch Hanma and shit.
Nah, Hiromu and Hanma was great.
Y'all like, I hate it. I didn't hate the match, but I was like, it's okay. It's not terrible, but it's like you watch the whole time. You're just like, should Hanma still be wrestling? Every time I ever watch Hanma, I'm like that. But like this match didn't make me think any different of that or from that.
Ibushi and Sabre kind of just happened.
Disappointing match. They've had better matches.
What else did they have that was pretty interesting? Ishii moves along, another big brawl, Makabe.
How was that? I didn't see it.
It was all right. I caught some of it. Like I had it on in the background while I was working. But going forward, it looks like we're headed towards like a Okada and Taiji Ishimori match, which should be pretty interesting.
That's gonna be good.
There's like Ishii and Hiromu are probably staring each other down. I hear Hiromu and Yano was an incredible comedy match. I haven't seen it yet, but I just keep seeing it get talked about over and over on my timeline.
I'm glad my timeline's not your timeline.
And it looks like some people are projecting a Sonata and Okada final. I'm like, I don't want to watch that again.
Well, that'd be part 5, right? In last year?
Yeah, I'm all the way good. And they're going to go 30 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I love their matches, but I would say that that's a little bit too much, and also it's like Sonata has to win in that situation. And like, I almost feel like if you beat Okada, like, granted the G1 last year, but like if you beat Okada, like, let me phrase this. For Sonata at this point, the next time he beats Okada, it needs to be for some type of belt, not to get a title shot. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to start, like, if we're going to really do this, like, I've been big on this even since they met last year. It's like, this needs to be the year where they, like, look out for, like, get Sonata to, like, that white belt, level. And,
it looks like people were trying to project him to the IWGP level.
I think that's a little too much. I think that's too much too soon. Not to say that he's young, but it's like they haven't tracked him to be an IWGP champion from what I can tell, from what I've seen. Do you feel that they have?
They have, but okay. I don't know if it's necessarily. It's not the most exciting thing in the world because like they still have the group dynamic of like LIJ still being together. So
and they still have them lose the fucking Evil and shit.
Yeah, like they because before this whole thing went down, people were pointing at a Jay White and Sonata final, which would have been like, I watched the match that they had with each other just recently. No, it was perfectly inoffensive, but it was like 4th from the top, which I was like, if this was 2nd from the top, I'd be fucking furious. Like, so I don't know, man. Like, I think all the other stories are like much more exciting if Ishii goes through and wins, if Hiromu goes through and wins, if Okada goes through and wins, but you don't do Okada and Naito now.
Right. like, and that's another thing when it's like, you almost feel like whatever their plan actually was for the New Japan Cup, like, they're clearly going to say whatever that idea was for something where they can actually draw a big gate as opposed to some shit they know they can sell out, throwing anything out there. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they had Taichi win this shit.
I was just gonna bring Taichi up. So they let him beat Tanahashi. So like have him. He has a history of feuding with Naito in the past and always been like a thorn in his side. If you're doing a third full Osaka Joe Hall, I mean, I don't know.
This shit gotta last. We gotta say these marquee matchups. I'm not finna blow Naito versus Okada. Or Naito versus Hiromu on some shit that I know can get 30,000 or 20 plus thousand people to a building and blow that on a match in code of a third of capacity. Fuck no, I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, so these are all things you gotta kind of think about, but so we'll keep checking in on it. I'm probably gonna try to watch some of those matches I haven't seen all the way through yet, but because I want to check out Okada and Nagata.
Where's the next show is in a few hours, right?
Should be. I think
not
so.
A few hours, like 5-6 hours, but yeah.
Actually, I don't think they're back till like July, like the 1st, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so actually, for some reason I thought it was gonna be Monday again, but all right, okay. This week I don't really have that much time. I don't know if I need you to tell you to hit the music, but like that's up to you.
Hit the music.
Basically, update from watching all of last week's return show. Two things of note. We talked about the main event last week, but we'll go third from the top. They did a match between Natsuko and Konami. Konami thoroughly out-wrestled her throughout the match, and then Natsuko pulled out that chain that she's been carrying around ever since she became the leader of Oedo Tai, and kept using it, and it became so ridiculous with it that the ref called for a DQ. I think this is the second DQ I've seen in Stardom since last summer, or last May. Yeah, May last year. So like that's you see why I like Stardom so much. Clean finishes. People get beaten, put the fuck away. So because of the main event where you had Tam and Julia going at it, where Julia boots her in the face so bad that she gets a black eye, that Tam gets a black eye. They fight post-match outside the ring. It seems like they're setting up and setting the table for some type of white belt scenario, showing you like these are the players, like Konami, Arissa's last great white belt challenger, Tam, Natsuko, who won, who actually pinned Arissa and was due to be at No People Gate for a title match for Arissa, had to pull out because of the injuries, and then Julia, the Cinderella tournament winner, who actually said she was going to challenge Arissa before Arissa retired. So it's like, that seems like they're setting the table for those four.
Nope, no job done.
Right. So
look, Arisa Hoshiki, elite level working.
Oh my god.
Look, because I'll tell you this, I didn't want to see Arisa lose to no Julia, but
I didn't necessarily want to see Arisa lose to no Julia either, but it's like, it is what it is. But I don't actually think Arisa, like, yeah, I'm out of here. Fuck Julia. No, I don't think that at all. Like, you watch enough Arisa Hoshiki, you're like, nah, bro, I don't think she has the facilities, if you will, to be that Machiavellian.
Hashtag ELW, elite level working.
Oh my god.
Y'all hit me with it.
Stupid. Alright, so another part that the semi-main event, Queen's Quest versus Queen's Quest. Azumi and Momo versus Utami in new gear, looking like an Amazonian warrior princess, and Big Saya, who is dressed like, I don't know, she's dressed like, like that, the haberdashery that like Shawn Michaels would come down to the ring with and then take off before you wrestle.
Yes.
Her gear looks like the shit that she's wrestling. It looks like the shit you're supposed to take off, but she doesn't take it off. Like, it has like all this long tassel around her, like the skirt of the outfit and along her arms. It's like, when she walked out, I was like, oh, that's cool. She's gonna take the joints off. And she's like, oh wait, she's not taking that off. Whatever. But yeah, like, it's a good match. It was not anything great. It's not something you would expect from those four, especially Utami, Izumi, and Momo. But Izumi looks sharp, and everybody else kind of seemed like they're still working their way into getting their groove back. But it was a fun match. Went to a 20-minute time limit draw. That might be the kind of reason why I wasn't that crazy about it. But yeah, it was a good match nonetheless. But it wasn't like a match I would say like go out your way to see it. After the match, let me backtrack. When Big Saya joined Queen's Quest, she said she wanted to model herself after Utami, and then they went into No People Gate, the February Croken Hall show, and Momo and Utami fought Jamie and B for the tag titles, and they lost in like a 3.5 star match. And Big Saya said, I want to team with Utami and take on the big Gaijins, right? The big evil Gaijins. And after this match, it went to time limit. They all got up and they said, well, as young as and experienced as Saya is, you guys went, 20 minutes with us. And if you can go 20 minutes with us, you have yourself a real chance to go beat Jamie and B. So best of luck to you, bow down to the queens, and they went them out of the way. So that's pretty much the update. Well, yeah, anything else, or is that about it? Is there any other sexual abuser that we forgot to talk about this week, or major one?
I think. Look, I can never be sure that that's all.
There's never the end in sight of all this. But I'm saying, like, the major stories from this past week with people like involving speaking out. Like, I feel like we covered all three of them.
I think that's it. Oh, WWE fired a bunch of people. Like, they fired Travis Banks.
That's right.
Fired Ligero.
Yeah, right.
They fired someone else. But
somebody else? I mean, they already fired Gallagher.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's the first person they fired.
Yeah. So apparently he basically admitted it. Like, oh, you caught me. So, yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. I think it's a good place to leave it.
All right. So that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. To go tell the folks about. Yeah.
Manscaped. Don't forget.
Go ahead.
20% off. Code Suplex, and you already know what it is.
Okay, so for those that I don't think we mentioned it yet, but on the Lawnmower 3.0, there is a light to help you see what you're doing, so you don't shave off your sack. And when Rich just turned his
don't shave your gimmick.
The light shined off of this man's face. I really. One of these days, we're going to turn this into a video show so they can see the shenanigans that just happened. But one day,
yes.
But not now.
Yes.
Yeah. So shout out to PowerSlam.tv, one of the sponsors of this show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling, have over 5,000 hours of footage from all over the world. Just enter the code Social Suplex to get your 3 months trial. Be sure to check us out on our Discord. That can be reached by going onto the Twitter for One Nation Radio, and it's in the bio. Be sure to check out the other shows on the Social Suplex podcast. Podcast Wrestling Network. But in 1 second, we'll get to that. But let me backtrack. Be sure to go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex to pick up some official Social Suplex podcast merchandise. Gear.
Trying to work hard for y'all.
Yeah. We got that. We trying to sell all the gimmicks. We trying to get all that done.
Yes.
But back to lecture at hand. Check out the shows on the network. This show on Sundays or Mondays, One Nation Radio. On Mondays or Tuesdays, Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, Rick and Clive Wrestling Podcast. Every other Wednesday, Grumman Watches Shit. On Fridays, Get in the Ring. And on Saturdays, All Things Elite.
There you go.
Yep. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.